All right, I
Yep,
want to
yes,
make sure
sir.
I get that right. Well, we are live. Nobody, we don't have anybody on here at the moment.
That's
Um,
cool.
yeah, which I mean, it always takes a couple of seconds for that to happen. There is a way that like you can do like a premiere with like
Uh-huh.
a live thing. I have not tried that yet. I think I would. I almost did it with this one, but I was like, but what if it messes up?
Yeah,
So it's like,
premieres are so tricky. I used to premiere videos a lot, and I like to engage with the audience in the comments, and then it got to the point where it's like, I enjoy it, but it's like, at what point there's been times where I've missed them, when you set an alarm on your phone, you're like, "Oh, snap, I forgot to get on there and comment."
oh, yeah, I normally like kick my videos off like real early in the morning because not everybody, wakes up at 9.
Yeah,
You know,
I
so
feel you. I'm a 4 a.m.er, so I feel you.
oh my gosh. No, I don't
Yeah,
set them off I just schedule them for, like 5 AM because as professionals, right? Because I consider both of us are, that we, actually take a look at the when it's like, "Oh, you get most of your people watching at, 6 AM." And I'm like, "Alright, well, then let's kick it off at like 5:45, and that way it's up there for them to see it when they go."
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. I totally agree.
so it looks like we got, a couple of people on here. Can't see
Yeah,
who oh,
lives are so tricky. I've done this with a couple of people before. Like one of my buddies, Shreddy McSkate, does a lot of lives, a lot of live unboxings. Probably
mhm.
one of my favorites when it comes to doing live unboxings. He does a great job at that.
Yeah, I think Matt from Electric All Wheel, he does a ton of lives. I mean, that dude
They're successful.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, really, I had never even thought of doing a live until Matt, and if it wasn't for Matt setting up my first live, right? He's like, "Alright, this is what we do to make it happen."
Showing an old
Um,
dog new tricks, right?
yeah, 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 exactly, right? Because at least I am, with my age, there's some people my age that will not embrace technology, right? Like, even my kids, I'm like, "Why are you guys not, like, taking advantage of, how social media works and stuff like that?"
Exactly.
You know? I'm like, sell feet pics or something, right? But my son's like, "I don't think people are gonna buy my feet pics." I'm like, "You're right. You're probably right." Um, we have
A
a
select minority.
yeah, we have Jaxologist. He just hopped on. "Hey, buddy, how's it going?" Um, he's like, "I do want my own flying PEV at your age." It's funny because back in the '80s, they were talking about, like, flying cars and stuff like that by now,
I know.
and, we all saw the Jetsons and stuff and thought that was, like, gonna be a thing, and it is still not. It's still not. I think
I
Elon's
know.
close. I think Elon's very close. I think I saw something about that, but that's the bad part. You don't know if it's AI nowadays or not.
Well, you also know like Elon's time is like, I mean, listen, I own some Teslas, so I can make fun of it and still be cool with it. But like his timeline is like Elon time is not next year; it's 10 years from when he says it. So like when he's talking about, oh yeah, full self driving, your car's going to drive itself by 2014, and here we are, going in 2026, and we're finally almost getting it.
Yeah, well, he's had some that have done it.
Absolutely,
Um,
absolutely, yeah.
so it looks like we have 20 people on here right now. Okay, so if
Oh,
you guys
cool.
did, thanks for hopping on to Bike Talk. I'm with Mike Feedy. Want to make sure I said that correctly.
Appreciate it.
And he is well, one of my friends that review e-bikes. And so really the whole thing is I like to get to the backstories of people and find out more about people. And I'm glad that you guys are hopping on so that you can find out as well. Um,
I appreciate you having me on here too, by the way, Scott.
well, I appreciate you accepting. Now, Mike and I, we met the Electric event in Phoenix, and which is funny because I've said that with literally everyone I've done the interview with,
We had a
because I
good
get to meet.
squad.
We did. It was about like 10 of us,
Yeah.
and we would hang out by the pool at the hotel. We didn't well, with some of us, I mean, we all had to break off because we all had different bikes and stuff like that. So we were all like doing our own thing and filming and stuff like that. But at nighttime is
Yeah.
when we would all get back together, and that's when chaos would ensue.
And you have to
We have
admit, it was like extremely motivating meeting like-minded individuals because when you're in this space, not to cut you off, Scott, but like I feel like when you're in this space, you're in your own little world and you think that nobody else understands the world that you're in. And then when you meet somebody, you're like gravity, boom, right into them. You're like, this is amazing. You know exactly the language that I'm speaking. You know where I'm
Yeah.
coming from. And it was really cool. I mean, not just meeting you, like dozens of other like minded individuals, but obviously we had a really good connection with you and I, and then our group of 10 that we went out drinking and had a good time. And what was it, maximum charges rental, uh, topless
Oh,
car.
his
Is that what that
yeah,
was?
his I think he rented like a BMW or something, like a convertible BMW.
Baller.
I didn't, I didn't get to ride in that. So,
Uh,
yeah, no, because it only holds so many,
yeah.
and and just craziness like that. But let's talk about, because I know. Oh, and just a caveat off of that, I didn't realize there were so many people that did, what we do, right? And then to see that many people, and but then it was also cool because then I saw people that I watched their videos, right? So it wasn't that I wasn't like fanboying, but I'm like, holy cow,
Yeah.
like I'm in with these guys,
Yeah.
right? Because that was the first event that I had been to, period. And I'd only been doing this, I wasn't that big. I think I might have had 10,000 subscribers at the time, and I mean, it sounds like a lot, but it doesn't feel like a lot.
That is a lot. Don't excuse me. Don't take that away from yourself. That's a lot. That is a milestone.
Yeah, I mean, now I'm a little bit over 26,000, and I'm like, "Oh my
That's
gosh," but
amazing.
yeah, well, you're rocking 100. I mean, you got the silver play button, you got what, 122,000 subscribers?
A little over 100 and 130, but like at the end of the day, I'm going to be realistic with you. It is very easy to get trapped in the mindset when you're at 10,000, because like your goal oriented is like 10. When you're at 10, you're like, I want that play button. But then you start to just grind and you don't even think about it anymore. And then when it
Yeah,
happens, I say this to my friend Eddie all the time. I'm like, every milestone you hit, stop, take a moment, take it in, because like that's 30,000 people that are choosing to be with you. 50,000 people are choosing to be with you. And I appreciate every one of the people that choose to be with me, and you, the people who are here in this chat right now. I think it's amazing. So at the end of the day, don't discount when you were at 10,000 and now you being at what are you, 26,300. Don't discount that. That is a great milestone, Scott. You've done a great job.
oh, well, no, thank you. Well, I don't discount, I just think it's crazy, right? Like,
It is.
I
Imagine
I
all those
remember when
people following you every day. Imagine if you had imagine if you had 26,000 people just walking behind you all day.
which is, well, I would not have. I guarantee you, they'd be like, "Whoa, this guy is something else. We're just going to go somewhere else." No, but it is amazing. I remember when I had like 38.
That's awesome.
you know, so, and we now. How long have you been doing YouTube, Mike?
So it's interesting. So I got in, I mean, I've always had a channel because when I was riding BMX competitively, it was kind of like I was one of the first ones within the space that would like upload what they called web edits back then, where instead of like, it was kind of a transition phase in BMX where people went from buying VHS to DVD. And then companies started realizing that they were sitting on money. If they got too many DVDs in, they're kind of, people were streaming more, people were using Vimeo. So I was like, you know what? I'll put a web edit out. And I just created a YouTube channel to do that. Wasn't trying to get subscribers, was just trying to appease a sponsor. And that was probably back in, man, 2000, 2001, 2, something like that. That I made a channel, but I didn't start uploading like content like this for many of years after that. Because what happened was I ended up uh, joining my friend's YouTube channel. It was BMX only back in 2014, 2015. And it was like the prime of YouTube where every video you put out, it was getting like, there was no algorithm. It was like your subscribers got your videos. It wasn't like sometimes they'll get them. Every single time, boom, they got a notification and you were getting, we ended up like accruing over 1 million followers or subscribers on his channel in a matter of like 3 years, which was insane. And yeah, I just went from doing stuff on his channel to saying, you know what, I kind of want to do something like still with him, but on my own, and did basically only BMX content for a while because that's all I knew. And some people watching this might be able to relate. Where It's almost like you find something that you like and you enjoy, and it becomes kind of your identity, especially when you do it for so many years. Um, that alls I knew was putting together BMX content, whether it be how-tos or, breaking down how to fix specific things on a bike, setting up grips, setting up your bike the right way. And it just got to the point where I still enjoyed it, but I wasn't sessioning and enjoying my time like I should. And honestly, it came at the perfect time with electric bikes. Aerial Rider had just come out with the Aerial Rider D class, I think. Yeah, D class. It was like a black bike. Was it dual motor? It was dual motor. And they had found me on Instagram. I had never done an e-bike video at all. They're like, if we send you a bike, will you make a YouTube video? I was like, sure. And I got it. I was like, this thing's pretty rad. And I started to fall in love with it. It's like that itch that I had with BMX. I wanted to like tinker with it, learn about motors, open up the motor. And it's kind of been a snowball effect, like you just kind of get wrapped up in it if you understand what I'm saying. You get obsessed.
Yeah. Well, which we started to talk about earlier, because you're a BMX guy, which is not something that you see too many YouTubers, that used to do. I used to ride and race BMX bikes as well,
Oh, cool.
and and so we had that. I'm pretty sure I did it just a little bit before you. I just didn't do it as well.
There you are being so critical and hard on yourself.
No, it's not that. I'm just like, I started off with like, a Mongoose BMX bike. It was funny because, I had a buddy that what did he have? He had like a GT, so my rich friends had like the Diamondbacks and the GTs, and I'm running on a Mongoose that I think my parents got at Walmart at the time. And I could do the thing where I could like rocket hop over a trash can that was standing up.
That's awesome.
It was. I mean, I'm
That
like,
was
I could
pretty
do all
big back
this.
then.
That was big. And I would also like, there'd be like garages or something like that, and I'd ride off the top of those and do stuff like that. And then
That's amazing.
I got into a couple of races, did really good. I even like got to the point where I had like a suit and it said like goose on my ass is what because it was the deal what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I got picked up by Redline, and Redline said, "Hey," they came up like they showed up at my house. It was crazy.
That's
They showed up at
amazing.
they showed up at the house. They had a trailer that had bikes in the back, and this is when they just came out with like these composite cranks and stuff. And they said the bike was basically indestructible. And there was a viaduct that was real close to our house, and I'm talking to him, and we're walking over here, and I just throw it off the top of the viaduct onto the train tracks, see if it would break. And he's like, just so you know, that one was yours. Right. Right. So I was like,
Have
I
fun.
scratched it up. Yeah. So um and so I raced for, I mean, they gave me all the gear, like that was the first time I wore like, the real, like the chest pad
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all of that kind of stuff.
What
And
state did you grow up racing in?
Indiana.
Indiana. Oh, well,
So
that's awesome. That's a big state for racing.
yeah, but it was but it's funny, like, I would win races riding a heavier bike, like, with my Mongoose, but I didn't win a single race with Redline,
Oh,
right? So,
with the
so that
power light cranks.
yeah, yeah, right? It was like, I think it had, like, super light mag wheels at the time or something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't I can't remember, but, I did all that. But then I look at your channel and, you've done it, like, professionally, and so that kind of I think that kinda gives you, like, an advantage knowing that, because every bike I see you review, you basically wheelie it if you can.
Yeah. Well, I
Kinda
try
like
to,
shredding.
I try to take, like, the perspective from my riding background. So, like, I ride mountain bikes as well. I'll do downhill. It's hard to, like it's hard to not, like, turn that switch on when I'm on a bike. It's really
Mhm.
like, it's hard to explain. Like, I have an airbag landing ramp for doing tricks here at the house, and my kids will ask me to pull it out, and I'll do some tricks for them. But I can feel the switch. And I don't tell many people about this, but, like, when my wife and I were pregnant with our first, she was pregnant, obviously. Um,
Right.
when we had our first, my friend had a catastrophic like injury, and it opened my eyes to want to be an able father. I had been lucky for a lot of years riding, like just sprained ankles, no broken bones. Just I've always I've always been a very well calculated rider. I take the risk when it's necessary. And so the point I'm trying to get at is like when I'm riding and my kids are like, "Dad, do this." It's hard. Like I turn the switch on and I'm like, I start. It's almost like a morphine drip. Start to feel it, and I'm like, I need to shut this off because it's very hard for me to let that go. That's another thing like to open up about is like the riding career, like all I knew was that. And it was very difficult for me to turn that page knowing that like now we're into a new uncharted territory. So when I
Totally.
do a review, yeah, I try to wheelie it, but like I'm obviously it's not recommended. It's just I try to do it for myself. And obviously it makes even more of a harder factor because I'm an idiot and I don't have one of those mounts like you guys have where it's like attached to the handlebar. I'm actually like holding the camera trying to wheel it. So I'm like holding the selfie stick on the side of the handlebar, I'm pulling up. But yeah, I mean, I got lucky for a lot of years riding professionally and thankfully was able to transition it into this amazing career within the cycling industry. You know, I love everything about bikes. That's the best thing about this job is I get to ride like anything with bikes. I'm looking at so many different bikes right here. The all new Rex, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen, or the Aero Rider X Class 60 volt, and then the bike I absolutely hate and I'm willing to throw in the trash can right now. The Anioki, what is that? The A9.
They, oh,
Don't
the
don't buy it. Don't buy it. I haven't
you
even
never got
reviewed it
that
yet.
running.
No, they just sent me this controller. I we're gonna get off topic, but they sent me the controller. You already know, Scott. And in emails, we're talking like 4 months into emails, and I'm like, listen, I'm about to donate this bike. Like, I don't want to hear it's a 118-pound bike that's doing nothing. But I
Right.
digress. Basically, your question was about the career. I got lucky for a lot of years, and I'm able to transition a lot of those riding aspects when it comes to understanding how tires grip, whether it be a road bike tire or a mountain bike tire or like a any type of tire to see like exactly the type of feeling because you understand how it can feel when you get loose on gravel, dirt, grass, and
Mhm.
with the background I have, I kind of can understand like what would get loose and what won't. So, uh, like I said, I kind of digressed like from the question you had there. If you want to reformat it for me,
Well, actually, I wanna pop into the comments here because
absolutely, let's do
we
it.
got all kinds of activity going on here in the chat. Um, let's see, what was it? I saw, Ride Electric Reviews is here, Maximum Charge is here, but Maximum Charge asked the first question. He said, "Question for you both. Would you ever want to sell your own e-bike? Why or why not?" And I'm trying to like, does he mean like come up with our own brand?
That's what he means. Yep.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna say no, because and here's why, is because I've seen what goes on behind it. So for me to sell my own bike, which means I would need to have extra parts, great customer service, um, and just this huge supply, there's gonna be a large amount of capital that I'm gonna have to come up with in advance. It's not gonna appeal to everyone, right? I have yet to find the perfect e-bike. And I don't believe that I could even build the perfect e-bike myself. So I just enjoy riding them as a consumer. And I think all of that, because I don't really look at this as being a job, because like you, I love bikes, right? And
Hmm.
riding these is so much fun. And I think if I had to be on the other side of it where I developed my own bike and had to do all that, then it becomes like this business where
Yep.
where I'm consumed of with that and making sure everyone is happy. And with just reviewing them, we just get to write it, and it is what it is. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
So I had this opportunity in the BMX industry to start a bike company, and I didn't want to do it because I knew that I would kind of resent the industry or just not enjoy it as much. Exactly what you said. So it's like if I take what I love and I try to make it into a job, and then you're adding all types of new stresses. It's like, you're adding financial stresses, sales stresses, all these different things to where it's like you're not actually going to enjoy the road to that product being available. I thought about this back in 2020, making a brand. I mean, I've heard you say before, you're friends with Arda and his brother with Aero Rider. And I talked to them years ago, like, hey, I thought about doing a e-bike company. What's the capital that I would need? And we're talking like 50K, even just to like kind of get in the door to like set up a jig if you want to do anything that's like not off the shelf. Like if you're looking to do something that's like your own frame, your own geometry that looks different, rides different than everybody else's, minimum of 50K just in the door before you even get a bike. So, and that's like before you get samples or any of that stuff. But if you're looking to get something like a lot of brands that I like to call cookie cutter brands, where you'll see like a back, I don't even know if they're still in business. Me Bike. I remember having one of those mopeds. It was identical to um like 5 other brands that I rode before that. Everything was only thing different was the decals. And I'm
Hmm.
like, what's the upfront cost in this? Oh, nothing. Basically, you're just you're setting up a website, somebody's making a purchase, and you're screwing the customer at the end of the day because they're not gonna be able to get any customer service from you. It's just they just pump and dump, basically. Pump out the product there, dump the company, and then move on to the next. Have you had that experience before?
Yeah, so the thing, yeah, I've had it with because we look at the specs, we review the bike, and I'm like, this is the same bike. So,
Yeah.
so the thing is, we have to focus on, because all of them, if they're doing the cookie cutter thing, they will change one or two things, and at
Yeah.
that point, that's a lot of these 48 fat tire e-bikes with 750 motors are the same, but they're also like, to me, I think every bike is like a snowflake, right? They all look the same, but every one of them is unique in some way or another, and it's up to us to find out what that is and to showcase it, because that small change might be the difference between somebody buying one brand over another.
Yep.
But I kind of, at this point, I'm kind of veering away from just reviewing any bike
Agree.
that is out there. And APAS kind of, or APIS, or however you want to say it, kind of turned me off with these cheaper budget bikes, because they keep lying about their specs.
Yeah, that
And even when
sucks.
I've called them out and shown them that, like, look, what you're advertising is absolutely not correct, then, and they keep it on their website that way. And dude, it becomes like an integrity issue at this
Absolutely. And
point.
then
And
and then
I'm
it's and it's on you because if you reviewed a bunch, it's actually not as much on them. But if you reviewed a bunch, then your integrity is in question unless
Well, yeah, I
you.
reviewed them before finding out,
Yeah.
right? And now, I'm like, okay, now I'm in this whole thing where I'm doing this whole series on showing that they're lying. And dude, that's a road I don't want to go down, but now I
No,
feel
good
like
on you. You
I feel
have
like
to.
I have to, you know. So it's just like, gosh, because they didn't even need to do it. The bikes perform extremely well for how much you pay for them. So why lie
Yeah.
about the specs? So how do you promote a bike that outperforms the cost of it, but yet they're lying about the specs? That's
Yeah.
what
I
you
mean,
know. s-
I just don't deal with them. That's I mean, how
Yeah.
many I mean, look, think about how many brands you probably deny or just don't respond to a week, like, via emails.
Oh,
I
there's
could
so
say
many.
dozens, like, it's like and all these random pop-up ones. But back to his question, would I start a brand? No, I would not start a brand. I've actually thought about becoming like investing. I've actually broached this subject before with electric. I was like, and let me know if you think this is a stupid idea. I think it's a great idea and a great incentive. Instead of working with like a brand like electric for if they come out with 4 new bikes a year and they're having us as paid partnerships, I told or I asked the owner of Electric, and I was like, "Hey, would you be willing to like sign a contract and maybe give small amounts of equity of Electric?" Because that's like, man, I'll constantly, obviously, I'll do more videos that are non-biased, but that I would love to have the people that are invested into the industry, like ourselves, have a say in positive equity into brands that we already love, if that makes sense. Or do you think that would be bad news?
Um, I don't think viewers would like it, because then they would say, well, you're going to be biased with your review because you are an ownership of this company.
I mean,
I mean,
but it's no different than if you took payment. Because I mean, I do paid partnerships all the time, and I still like in my contract because I have two different. They send me one, I send them one, and we come to an agreement. But my contract is like, you don't get to view the video before it goes out. You don't get to make any critiques. You don't like basically what I say in it is what goes.
Yeah. Oh, and I get that because I mean, I do as well, but I let them know that the only thing that they can change about any video that I put out is if I have the specs wrong. That's the only thing. Because especially if a bike's just coming out, right? And and they want us to our reviews to come out the same day that the bike comes out.
Yeah, I hate
Makes
that.
sense. It makes sense. I get it. But I want to make sure that the specs are right.
Yeah,
So with those bikes, with Velotrek and Event and stuff, I show them beforehand because dude, sometimes I get it wrong,
yeah,
and I want to fix it. But once that bike hits the road, no change. Like you have nothing to say
yeah.
about anything that happens. This is exactly how your bike performed. It is what it is. But I do want to make sure that the specs are correct. That's why it beats me up with, that's why it eats me alive with this whole A pass thing. You
I mean,
know,
that's how I feel about Anioki. They keep on, like I said, they sent me the controller to do this, and I'm like, "Are you really sure you want me to do this video?" Because I don't know about, like, how you do these lives, but, like, basically, I'm saying I even said in email, I was like, "I'm gonna tell the truth, like, if your bike is a piece of shit, the people are gonna know," and it already has rubbed me the wrong way where I have to sit here for 4 months. Like, in order to get this bike out of the box and get it running, I've had to troubleshoot the turn signals, the headlight, um, undo every single cable to try to troubleshoot to find out it was a controller. So 4 months in, and I haven't even found out if it's a controller yet. They just sent it to me, and we'll see. We'll see if it works, and if it does, and they want me to do the video, then on
look,
them.
look, I review well because so we're in a group, so you guys know, we're in a group together in Instagram with other e-bike reviewers. I don't even call us influencers, but I guess we are. Either way, and you got your Anoki at the same time I got mine, and I had the AQ 177, and it took over a month to get it running. And dude, in my review, I talked about everything we had to do to get this bike running. And then, but I'm like, okay, to include cutting the safety wire on the rear motor so that it wouldn't keep um
Really?
that's what they said to do. And I'm like, okay, well, that's what we're gonna do. And oddly enough, that fixed the issue. So when they came to me again with wanted me to review the A8, and I go, I no, right? I said, I don't want to because you guys, I had so many quality control issues with the first one that I'm surprised they even asked me to do another one,
Yeah.
right? And then, but then they sent me this 3-page document of all the improvements that they've made for the 2025. And I said, all right, I'll review it. I've had it for a while. We have not been able to review it because the throttle, like if you put it into pedal assist 4 and 5, it goes into all-wheel drive, which I thought was pretty cool. And then when you kick it down into like 1, 2, and 3, it goes back to rear-wheel drive, right?
Yeah.
Neat technology. Hadn't seen it. They've switched to direct drive motors. Super quiet. Unfortunately, we can't get it to not go out of all-wheel drive once you get into pedal assist 4 and 5 and you go back down.
Mm.
And then my throttle was not working as well. It'd have super delays in it. You'd be twisting it. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. Now all of a sudden it's working, and so now we've already switched out the throttle. Now they said it's the display.
It
So
just becomes
that's
a headache, dude. It becomes
yeah.
too much of a headache.
Yeah. So, and I'm like, you guys realize that I'm going to be calling all of this out in my review,
Yeah.
because that was one I wanted to ride to the cabin because I had him give me the 80 amp hour version,
Oh, wow.
which should make it to the cabin.
Mhm.
The 60, the AQ7 did like 83 miles on the 60 amp. Um, so yeah, so I mean, there's all of this stuff that we have to deal with behind the scenes that people don't see. They think we just a bike comes to us for free, we hop on it and we take off. And that's
I will
well,
say that you should be able to say, I mean, I'm not speaking for myself here because I say whatever I want. Because I think
mm,
at the end of the day, you hold the control. Like, none of these companies, none of them would survive without people making videos. Now, would they be able to send them to creators that are willing to do a video just for a free bike and a t-shirt? Absolutely. But at the end of the day, if they want to succeed in the market, they need people like us who actually genuinely love the place, love the space, and are authentic than somebody just making a video. And anybody could just make a video and put it out. But
true. And I think
people
that's kind of how we
subscribe to you for a
start.
reason, you know?
I think that's, when it first happens, you're just excited that somebody's going to send you a $2,000 bike or a
Yeah,
$1,100
and
bike
then you
for
have 30
free.
of them.
Yeah. Dude, I have 30 right now. What are you talking
Yeah.
about? I
Oh,
got one.
bro, I sold a bunch, but not to get too much. I don't I don't talk about this much because I don't want brands. I'll do it here on the live because I don't want to do it on my videos. I don't want brands to try to capitalize on it, but I let Electric do it once with me. Remember that Giving Tuesday that they
Oh
did last
yeah.
year?
Yeah. I thought that was,
So it was amazing.
yeah.
I was talking to Tim when we were at the last Electric event, and he was like, "Hey, would you want to be a part of this Giving Tuesday thing?" I was like, "Yeah," but I was like, "To be honest with you, what I already do is I donate bikes to the Wounded Warriors like contribution here in our area, which is like a military thing for
Hmm.
military people to get rehabilitated back on their bikes. And I usually try to do it only with trikes, step throughs, and so on. And I don't publish it because I don't want brands to try to get me to pay me to do a video so their bike gets to, you know what I'm saying, do that.
Yeah.
So when Tim asked if I would do it, I was like, yeah, I'll do it, but like I'm probably not going to make a video. I'll do what I normally do. And then he was like, I was like, but he's like, do you want 5 bikes or just full disclosure for everybody watching? They did this Giving Tuesday thing where you had the choice between giving away 5 bikes, which were $5,000, or $5,000 to a good charitable cause. And I told him, I was like, well, I was like, I've been doing this for a couple of years now to this Wounded Warriors. But I was like, if you'd be willing to give $5,000 to the local skate park, that kind of is the reason why I'm here today. And he was like, we'll do both. Just first off, so you know, that's the reason why Electric is the best, in my
Hey,
opinion. They gave me 5 bikes to give away to help rehabilitate wounded warriors, and then $5,000 to a charitable organization of my choice. Um, but that was basically my point. Is like I was going to ask what you do with your 30 bikes because I sell some of them, like for instance Aerial Rider. I can't give that to the Wounded Warriors thing. Those guys would end up killing themselves. Some of these
yeah,
guys,
that thing's too
so,
powerful.
no lie, like some of these guys,
Yeah.
they're missing an arm, missing a leg, and they
Hmm.
have like a prosthetic on, and I need to give them a step through. Like I have the electric trike over here that I haven't done a video on. Tim never asked me to do a video on. He's like, "Hey, I'm sending it to you if you want to give it to that organization. Go ahead." And I was like, "Okay." But that's the type of bikes that I like to give away or do those charitable things for.
Yeah. Me, yeah, not near as nice as you are.
Well,
I
are
just
you
normally sell them.
in Chicago? In Chicago, you're in Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Do you know of any veterans organizations in that area? Or if you don't, I could set you up with one if you are open to donating some bikes you've been sitting on for a while.
So here's the thing with that. Like I'm not originally from Chicago and I moved to Chicago.
Okay.
And when you spend 26 years in the military and then you get out, you kind of lose your tribe. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like so the camaraderie of that. He's like Scott's an e-bike hoarder.
No, I'm
And
not.
no,
So
no,
some
he's saying I am. He's saying I
bro,
am.
I used to be, so I understand.
Yeah. And the maximum charge is like, wait, you guys are getting t-shirts? The
Dude, he's the best.
but when I came to Chicago, I didn't know anybody. I only moved up here because of, well, my now wife. And so I visited all these different veteran organizations to try to figure out, like, like with, it's just like with the us e-bike reviewers, right? You want to be around people who you can talk the talk, and they've been through the same experiences you have and stuff like that, right?
Mhm.
Um, never. That's not true. I did find my tribe, and it was MVP, merging vets and players, which means all we did was you work out for an hour and then you have an hour huddle. But after years of doing that and seeing and just dealing with all of these other veteran groups, I've taken a step back from all of that. Just because, yeah, just because that was going down, it seemed like I was the only one. I don't want to say prospering, but I was the only one that like
Took it to
the
the next
mil.
step.
Well, was it like, you would figure if I've done it for 26 years, that would be my identity. And
Yeah.
if you look at the way that I dress, which is veteran chic, you would think that that is my identity. But I don't live in the past, because being an Army Ranger, I did a lot of really cool stuff, right? So, but I don't let that identify me, right? So I just
Yeah.
I just moved forward from that, stepped away from all of the veteran stuff, and then right now because well, and the only reason I have so many bikes is because it's the time of year when they're not really selling.
Understood.
Right. I don't know if you can see behind me. Well, you can't, but it is snowing. I'm up here at our cabin here in New Buffalo, but it's snowing. So in Chicago, the bikes don't really sell a whole lot. But normally, um, I give them like really good deals on it. And all the bikes that I get all go to a bike shop, and they're seen. They get flat out put in the tires. Everything's adjusted, so they're better than new, I consider, you know. And I do that for me because every bike that I take out, I want it to perform as it's designed to perform. And
Mhm.
I don't know how to do the derailleur adjustment that well. So I just want it all. Every bike goes to the bike shop, it's set up a certain way it is, and boom, it's done.
That way, you know
But
it's professionally done, so if you do give it to someone else, it was handled by a professional, you have a peace
yeah,
of mind, they have a peace of
Yeah.
mind. I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah, yeah, and I also feel that the bike needs to perform the way it's supposed to. I mean, you've
Mhm.
there like with Ride Electric Reviews and Run Bike Mike, and then, like, you guys have your own shops, you work on them yourselves. I literally do not have the room for anything like that because I live in the city of Chicago, not a suburb.
When the hell are you getting
Um,
out of there?
Dude, I'm here for my wife, so I think dude, I love riding in Chicago.
No,
Are you
it's
kidding
beautiful
me?
for sure,
I
but
mean,
I mean, living there, kudos to you.
Look, there's like with every town, look, there's areas that you can live in and areas that you probably should not.
Mhm.
And we live in a pretty good area, and I don't ride into areas that I know like,
Yeah.
I'm riding this bike. I would like to come home with it, right? So,
Yeah, absolutely.
so I have my normal racetrack, like kind of like Matt from Happy Tail TV. um, I did want to bring up the one thing that I thought was incredibly impressive when I was watching one of your videos. It made me laugh. I think I watched that video more than once. Is when you took the Velotrek Fold One to a bike park, and you were you were doing like endos and stuff like that
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this
yeah.
small, tiny folding bike, and I'm like, who in the world would? And I'm like, oh, it's Mike.
It's just
It's
like I
Mike.
said, it's something I can't train out of me, and I mean, we did it at the electric event too. I actually did it with the actually, I'm looking at it now, the Electric One. By the way, that's like one of the coolest bikes ever. The
Oh,
Electric
everybody
One,
loves that bike.
belt drive. Yeah, I was doing like endos and like they call it a full cab, where like you can like pivot around, do a 180 out.
Hmm.
BMX lingo. But
Yeah, we
but
we
yeah, I
didn't have
mean,
that lingo back when I did it. There was no lingo.
it was
None.
like you're doing a cool kick
You're doing
out
it.
back
Yeah,
in
you're
the
doing a
80s.
360 on the front wheel. All right, cool.
Yeah, man, it's interesting. I will say that so I don't know if you know, but there's actually I'm sure you already know because you're pretty in with the Velotric team, right? So you know about that thing coming up?
Um, well, I've
Vegas?
been, yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Well, if you don't, you
well,
do now, and you should hit
no,
them up.
no, they already asked me because they said, "Are you going to CES?" Because I decided to go to
I am.
CES this year. Okay,
I am,
great.
yeah.
So,
I haven't gotten the tickets yet. Probably get them this weekend, just 'cause I've been waiting to make sure that the wife's schedule was good with it. Because we have two younger kids, so I'm
mhm,
looking at it as a good opportunity for, like, me to do CES, but then us can, like, spend a few days there by ourselves.
yeah. Because I know that timing wise, so they're smart. They're like, okay, if you're going to be there for CES, then stay,
Yeah.
right? And we're going to do our event right after CES. And I'm like, okay,
Ooh,
that that works out,
yeah.
because I know Event is planning something as well, but later in the month.
Yeah.
So
I'll have
so
to
if you
talk
didn't
to
know,
Tom, right? Yeah, I'll have to reach out
yeah,
to him. He
if
was
you didn't
very
know
good,
about
by the
that, now
way.
you do.
I will say he was very good. It didn't end up happening because I think the bike was out of stock. I was supposed to do this Travis Pastrana reach out to me. They were doing a e-bike mountain bike race on his property, and he hit me up, and like then it was like 6 days before it was happening. I'm like, oh crap! Like I was like, I have my mountain bike, but I just took my mid drive off and I put it on a different bike, and then I hit you up to see if I could get Tom's info, and I got Tom, and Tom was like, "We'd love to be a part of that. What do you think?" And I was like, "I need an event and shirt. I need like I want to look official, like a jersey,
Yeah,
mountain
yeah,
bike, and everything." I forget the name of the mountain bike, but anyway,
Ramos.
yeah, it ended up falling through because the size I wanted, that fits me wasn't available. They only had mediums,
Hmm.
and I couldn't not ride size that's for me because we're not talking like little trails. They had like Travis Pastrana does it big, so I wanted to make
Yeah,
sure I had the proper bike.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, they're great brands as well. Aventon is a pretty solid brand.
yeah. I love. I have a hard time being biased when it comes to the Abington Adventure. It was the first bike
I mean, you
that
know it works. That's the thing. You know what you're getting with a
yeah,
brand like that.
right. And but that's the thing. It's quality, just like Velotrek. Like these two go head to head. I mean, and you couldn't be happier. And then, which is funny because they both know that they can't even compete with electric because they're like, we can't build what these guys build and sell it for $1,000 less. Like they're like, we can't, we can't do it. So it's nice to see that how these companies, like how they go together and how the they just know like each other's strengths and
Yeah,
weaknesses,
absolutely.
right?
I mean, what would you miss? You weren't at the last electric event, right? The
I
one with
was
the
no, I was
XP4.
not. No, I was not
The
invited.
the Levi did this really interesting thing, and it's out there for everyone, so it's not like I'm telling any trade secrets here, but, like, they rented out this movie theater, and then they showed us the new XP4, like, on this big screen, and then, Levi, they now have, like, a dyno, and they've been dynoing all their competitors' bikes, and put it right up there on the screen showing a graph, like, on what these companies are claiming that they offer, but what
Yep.
they're actually putting out there, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man, they called out Velotrick, and Velotrick on the Fold 1, Velotrick on the D2, and I mentioned it to him. I was like, "Yo, man, like, when I saw them in Jersey recently, I was like, "Hey, your numbers might be off because I looked at a dyno on your D2. I have a 750-watt motor, and you're claiming to put out this much power, but it's not, you know?" And so it goes to show that like brands like Electric are pretty serious about taking over like the industry or at least being authentic. Like when they
Hmm.
say that their motor is a 500-watt motor and it puts out however many newton meters of torque, they know it does because they expect somebody to call them out the
Yeah.
same as they're calling another brand out.
Well, that's the thing. Like it's turning out to where us as influencers are like we're starting to do like the deeper investigations. I know Alex with Maximum Charge, he now like does battery testing on them that drains them down, via this certain machine that does that kind of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
we're starting to call out these companies, like me with APAS. We're starting to call out these companies that are exaggerating on their numbers to try to get the higher sales.
Yep. Well,
You
Alex
know,
is another one that's like very unapologetic. And I say that like I respect it.
yeah,
Unapologetic. Like he calls it out and that's what he should do. And we've
yeah,
talked about this in conversations on Instagram before. I'm like, no, like if you're not your authentic self, then you're never then I mean, who are you lying to? Who are you lying for? Like at the end of the day, you are the one that knows that you BS'd your way through it. And the
yeah.
brand knows that. And then eventually people will pick up on it.
And like I care less if somebody buys a bike from my review, and I do it in such a way to where, like I was talking with Ben from the Bike Cave, I do it in such a way to where the bike performs the way it performs. Like I don't even have to, let's call off the specs that they're doing. Let's run it through this testing and see how it performs. Right. I think for me, for my setup, that is the best way of doing it. And then I mean, yeah, I ride them till they die or till they don't provide assist anymore, just because I want to see, is that go- I just saw a post from, I'm sorry, I just saw a comment from Easy E. He's like, is Scott going to use his ICE discount? Because I don't know if you know, but when I was with
No, but
Tim
I
from
love I love jokes. I love inside jokes.
yeah,
Fill me in.
when I was with Tim from Shoot the Chid, he came up for like 4 or 5 days to Chicago. Dude, I got 3 times people thought I was an ICE agent.
Why?
Well, probably because of my veteran chic clothing, my right?
Did you have a face mask on?
No, that's the
Okay.
thing. I'm like,
That's
dude, they think ICE agents are riding around on e-bikes. Did we put
they
out a
might be
video?
now. That might be the new thing. They're gonna
I know,
pop
but
it
I'm
right in
like,
the back of the bike.
yeah, of course. That's what we were saying. It was like, all right. And then the other one, I was riding the aerial rider and I had the upgrades done on it, the accessories, and it said 60 volt on the side. And the woman thought it said government.
Oh,
So she thought it
no.
was a government bike, and we had a conversation with her. The other dude was calling us like names and stuff and trying to get us to. I had no clue what was going on,
You need to
but Tim,
start a second channel just based on that. Ride around the city and just get
I
just
do not. I do
random
not want to
you're,
do.
like, randomly triggering people without even meaning to, and you blast that content out there.
Yeah, but it's so funny because I mean Tim's from Shoot the Chit, his video, and then after that he kept calling it the because we were doing a video on that. He was on the Wired Warrior and I was on the uh on the X60 performance, right? And he kept calling it the he's like, and if you're interested in the the aerial rider government edition, right? I was like,
All
dude,
blacked out like their SUVs.
right. And then but like another one, I was riding, I had a box on the back, dude. We're taking a box to UPS. I can't remember. I think I'm on the back of I can't remember what bike I'm on, but these they were saying in Spanish as I rode by, like "la" whatever, they were saying the immigration, "la immigration." And I'm like, "What?"
Wait, hold on. Did you have the accessories on the Aero Rider that are like the metal plates on the side that
Yeah.
like it
Yeah,
holds
that
them?
says
Oh yeah,
60 volt.
they look really aggressive too. Yeah, it looks sick.
Yeah, which I didn't realize until the woman said look told me, she goes, "That looks like it says government." And I took back and I stepped and I looked at it, I'm like, "Damn it, it
You could
does."
have put a
Right?
right. You could have put a rifle on there. That would have been great. I would have allowed it.
Just a big Ranger tab because it's all black and yellow anyways. I can put a big Ranger tab on there. Um, but no, let's see what's going on in the
Yeah.
comments here.
So
Ghost Cats joined us.
oh,
Was
cool.
I think
Ghost Cat. They make some cool products. Never. I've ridden one. I think it was Shreddy McSkate. I don't know if it was his,
yeah,
but it was down there when I was down in Lewis. I've ridden them before. They're really cool. I would love to shred those things. I like fast
dude.
bikes.
That the so I have the F4X, and that was the very first Ghost Cat that I'd ever ridden, and that is like for a guy that likes to do wheelies and stuff like that, you would probably never have the front wheel on the ground. That is like the easiest bike, just because it's so torquey and it's so light, and just the way that it's built, it just it
have to put some weights on the front end, just
dude
like some
something
dumbbells.
it screams, dude. It
Oh, sick.
screams. It screams
Yeah, I
so
only got to
hard.
ride it for a few minutes. He has like this straightaway, but a lot of his neighbors get real pissed at him if we zip down it too much. Because
Oh, it's,
Eddie has a bunch
yeah,
of bikes, and I saw I was like, dude, let me try this thing real quick. Like before we get on the trail, he's like, all right. So I ride. I was like, this is really good geometry, like actually good positioning. It's a fun little bike. I actually enjoy
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, that's also one that looks so much like a dirt bike. Like
Yeah.
I don't take it on the people trails here in Chicago,
Mm.
so it's like I would bring the bike up here. I'm waiting for the tires to come in that they put on them now, so I can hit these
Oh, they
trails
got
up in
knobby
here.
ones.
Yeah, but the ones
Oh,
that
cool.
well, the first ones that came out had more of the street, and I love the look of the knobby ones. So
Real aggressive.
yeah, and I'm like, "Oh, man, I have some trails up here where I'm at right now where this thing would totally rip," and so I'm just waiting, for it. Plus, they did this custom thing with the seat on mine. It's just a beautiful bike, but it looks
Oh, that's
100%
amazing.
like it looks 100% like a dirt bike.
So do you get a lot of shit for it there in your area? Like a lot of people, like if you were to ride on the trail, will people just yell at you?
Yeah. Well, so
Even if you're being respectful, putting by them, like just
yeah,
chilling? Wow.
yeah. People don't really like the moped style e-bikes. My Segway Cyber is my favorite moped style e-bike, and that thing straight up looks like a motorcycle. And I will, if I'm riding on the bike trails, I will fake pedal it so people don't think that I'm riding a motorcycle on the trails.
Yeah.
And I still get um Tim was surprised when we took it out. He's like, dude, the amount of looks that you get on this bike. I'm like, that's why I'm constantly pedaling it when I'm on a bike trail. I just don't want people to.
I try to stay pretty respectful. Like I just
Oh, no, I'm
like
do. We're not flying by them.
yeah, I'll usually half the times if people are walking, I'll just stop and let them walk by, and then I'll go because like I know that they're feeling uncomfortable, and I
Hmm.
usually like for instance like the Aero Rider 60 volt or even the Chimera that's behind me, I never take those on regular trails because the capability of these bikes are insane. But I
Yeah,
will like if I'm cutting to a place, for instance, like if I'm going to another location, I will take it on a bike trail, but I'm like putting ever so slowly. But
yeah.
like
Well,
this bike that's behind me, this thing goes 45 miles per hour out of an electric BMX bike, which is insane. It
that
has
is
like
insane.
you can't see it in the video, but there's a high drive motor that's built into this bike that has like about 4,000 watts out of this thing. It's insane.
Out of a
Um,
20-inch BMX bike.
then no, so I tried to do 20s before, and I actually tried a mullet design. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It would be a 20-inch back
20 inch.
wheel.
24
And
in the front.
yeah, 24. So they're both 24. So when it is 20, it is very um skittish. It's the best way to
Yeah.
explain it. Like any type of movement, it is very, very skittish. So the bigger wheels definitely help with that.
Hmm. Which is fun. I've never ridden a BMX bike with 24 wheels on, or 24-inch wheels on it. But like you were talking about, well, like you don't take them on the trails. I only have two choices, dude. In Chicago, I'm either on the street with cars or I'm in the bike lanes with people. So
Mhm.
I always try to take it real slow. I'm just cruising by. I use my bell. I say hello to people. Kind of hard to do during a review because they're like, "Why don't you always do that in a review?" 'Well, there's 2.7 million people, so every my whole review would be, "All right, we're here on the 606. Hello, excuse me, on your left. Hello, excuse me,
Yeah.
on your left, on your left." So
Yeah. How to
it,
say on your left.
yeah, right. And then, yeah, so that's all my videos would be if it wasn't that way. So I do have to
Let's
take them.
pause. Look at this comment from Ghost Cat right here. You should have been on the Ghost Cat with the Ranger seat, army green, definitely ice looking.
Oh my dude, that is
Do it.
so
You
true.
got
No,
hey, look, you got the approval. You got to do it now. It's got to be next
I know, but
week.
I gotta have somebody else there. I'll have to be definitely camered up because
Oh yeah,
yeah, you're right. That would have been the only reason we didn't take the ghost cat out is because Tim from Shoot the Chit he has one, right? So
that's cool.
I was putting him on a bunch of different bikes that he had not ridden.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, oh my gosh, dude, if I want to get yeah, if I want people to think I'm ice, that's definitely the one to be on for sure. Holy cow.
Listen, and nobody in the like, if you're watching this live stream or even watching it later, do know it is all with fun. Like, if you take any of the stuff that we're saying serious or out of context in your own way, that's on you. Like, I mean, I'm not here to tell you how one way to think or live. You mentioned ice. I think it's funny. I just don't care.
Right.
That's the thing. I don't like whatever's on the news right now on Fox or CNN or MSNBC. I just don't. I don't care. So when you brought that up, I think it's funny. I like to see
I
people
did too.
uncomfortable. I
I
like to see people uncomfortable sometimes. That's just me.
well, it's funny too because I have a good buddy who also reviews bikes named Mike Rochester is his channel. He's in our group chat.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's like, dude, he's like, conflict, bro. Like, what's the like? He will avoid and I'm like, look, I'm comfortable. I don't go looking for chaos, or conflict, but I'm comfortable in it. I'm like, think about
Yeah.
what my job was for forever, right? So it's like
You'll neutralize that threat before they even realize it.
or yeah, yeah, it's
In a
Chicago. So
nice
I
way,
just
in a nice way.
yeah, right. So I neutralize it by just trying to shut it down without any kind of range or way of doing it. Um, let's see. Gordon Vision 7522 says, I love the new trend of fast bikes like Wired and Magician, but I'm more excited about the more reasonable, less than 35-mile-an-hour models coming in 2026 from like Velotrek and others. And those are two totally like, I feel, obviously two totally different categories.
Yeah.
Um, have you reviewed any of the Magician or Wired bikes?
Nah, like they've reached out to me and I don't know. Like I look at it like they're a lot like a lot of other bikes I've reviewed before. Yes, they have the ability to reach a higher top speed, but it's like, okay, like I can make any bike go faster with a new controller. Like I could just put a
Mhm.
new controller and make any one of these bikes faster. Um, I don't want to say I don't have a desire. If it happens, cool. But I feel like with a lot of the controversy sometimes that rolls around it, it's not that I'm scared of the controversy. I just don't want to be the one that's piling in on it because I feel like I said before, people get up in arms about certain things, and then I have my mindset is I like to kind of dig a little bit. And like we've mentioned before about other creators that have certain things to say about higher power bikes, I like to poke fun and dig, knowing that it kind of makes them mad because at the end of the day, like that's an opinion. That's their opinion of a bike. Okay, they think it's too fast for the industry. Okay, that's your opinion, but there's thousands of other people that don't think it's too fast for the industry and they can ride responsibly.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I think they're interesting. The Wired would be interesting to ride. I've never ridden one of those. Um, I know you had or have a couple of them, right?
Yeah, I have the Freedom and the Warrior, and then I've reviewed the Magician Alpha, and I have the Atlas up here with me right now that just came in. But
What's
that's
the
52
difference?
volt
Oh, it's 52 volt. Okay, okay.
on the Atlas. Well, it's their mountain bike.
Understood.
So mid-drive motor, the Bafang mid-drive motor comes with 26 by 4.8. tires, so fat tires. So I was waiting for it to snow. It is snowing right now.
So I have a
Um,
question. What do you prefer, a mid-drive or a hub drive motor? And being the fact that a lot of these hub drive motors can do torque and cadence these days, what is your overall preference and why?
well, for right now, I think these 72-volt bikes are like they're not my first ones I'm going to grab whenever I'm running errands. Like 99%, I have two cars, but I do 99% of my errands in a bike.
Okay.
And none of the 72-volt bikes are the first ones I'm going to grab, right? Just because they're extremely heavy. Um, I mean, yeah, they have a lot of power, but it's more of the size of them. They're monsters, dude. They're huge,
Yeah.
right? So
But when
they're
it
big.
but when it comes down to the motor is what I'm saying, like, do you prefer a hub drive motor that has the ability to do cadence and torque?
Oh,
Or do you prefer a mid-drive motor that kinda gives you the analog feeling of riding a bike?
uh,
Or does it just
I'm not.
depend on the day?
Yeah, I think it depends on the bike,
Oh,
really,
yeah, yeah.
right? Because, or to give you an example, their Adventure, they have the Adventure 3, which is a hub drive, and then they have their Adventure M, which is a mid drive,
Mhm.
right? It's the same bike in theory. I mean, well, the same configuration of the bike. It's not, there's some differences for sure.
Are they using a
Um,
Bafang mid-drive motor on theirs?
no, no, they're
Like the
using their
M10?
no, they're using their A100, the one that they
Oh, okay.
designed for the Ramblers.
Oh, cool.
And the Adventure M actually does auto shifting and it does auto pedal assist levels if you want it to do that.
Okay, cool.
So the whole bike is completely auto. You can just hop on it, and just start riding, and it'll do all of its own things. Now I don't like to keep it in auto pedal assist level, but I enjoy riding my Adventure 3 because it does switch between cadence and torque sensors on it.
Yeah,
But so for in the city, I like a bike like that. Or out here in the country and doing any kind of off-roading, well, it's probably gonna be the mid-drive because that's what I'm more used to. That's what the Rambleses have. That's what any mountain bike, a true mountain bike. I mean, the Velotrek Summit
yeah,
1 says it was a mountain bike, and I'm like, is it really?"
yeah. I tried
You
talking them
know?
and doing the mid-drive like they're doing on the new Discover series coming up. I was like, "You need that in the Summit, like, to
Dude,
be a
you
real."
just what did you just say?
You heard me.
Yeah, I think everybody else did too.
It's alright. They
Um,
it's out there because I put it on my story anyway, they know.
oh, okay.
Yeah, and they also publish it on their story too. They know they've already put out leaks before, especially when they were just at not to redirect conversation. They were at Sea Otter, I think it was, and
Mhm.
they published videos with their prototype version of that bike then.
Yeah, well, I
Plus
know, Aventon did with their full suspension Ramblers.
plus recently they were in Jersey and they had like 10 shops out there and all these different individuals showcasing it and people were doing videos on it. So it's nothing that I mean, if I did a YouTube video right now, like breaking news, new bike, of course I wouldn't do that. But like us talking here, yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, it's coming down the pipeline and there's new technology coming down the pipeline.
And that's
And
coming from probably all of the manufacturers.
yep,
I would say that, the first mid-drive bike that I'm very normally, if you get a mid-drive bike and you have a throttle, the throttle's, like, pretty weak on it,
yeah,
but I have the, Mach Wheel Onyx, and it
okay,
has, no, it doesn't have a Bafang motor. It's a it has a non-Bafang motor as the mid-drive. I can't remember, but it, that throttle on that, I'm like, I really enjoy that. I was like, this bike is strong. It has an actual real throttle to where you can take off on it.
hmm,
So I mean, that's one thing. I haven't reviewed it yet. We're trying to get something. The headlight won't turn off, like
okay.
even when the bike's turned off.
So you
And
have to like
so
unplug the battery for it to do it.
I know I just have to unplug the light from
Oh,
it.
okay,
And I told them, and they're like, well, hang on, we got, let us replace the harness and the light. And I'm like, "Okay." So once they do that, then I'm gonna review the bike. But and that's you know what? And that's one of the things. Now, I don't beat up companies when it's something like that because parts go out, right? Now I say that, but Inoki, when you have to replace like 6 or 7 parts, that becomes an issue. There's been many bikes that I've had to replace the controller on, which is like the latest like Hey Bike Ranger.
Yep.
We had a controller issue. They sent me a new controller. Boom, done, fixed. Parts go out, or you just get a bad part. I don't beat a company up when it comes to that, but it does give me a chance to check out their customer support.
Yeah.
But then again, do we get to really check it out? Like, you have to go through the normal customer support with electric. They don't know whether we're reviewers or not. They care less, right? Their
You
customer
talk are
support
you
is,
talking about Velotric or electric?
no, I'm talking about electric,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So when you need parts, but when we need parts from like Hey Bike or something like that, we're not, are we really dealing with customer support, or are they making
Yeah.
sure that we get our stuff because we're the ones reviewing it? I know that
Yep.
with Aventon, it's not that way. I know with Velotric, it's not that way, and also know it's not that way with electric. Like,
Yep.
I have to go through the normal customer service on it. So yeah.
Mhm.
Um, well, we've really come off subject. I'm not even sure where
No,
we're at right
no,
now.
I so we were talking about mid-drive versus hub drive, and the reason
Oh
why I was
yeah,
asking is because, I find myself only liking hub drive motors on specific bikes, such as, let's just say, this Aerial Rider X Class 60 volt. That's the only bike that I think I would prefer it here. Like, I am looking at the 10 Ways that has a mid-drive motor. I'm looking at Ertopia, it's got a mid-drive motor. I like mid-drive motor. I like riding the bike. And I guess you can kind of get the same feel out of a hub drive motor when you're using the torque sensor, but I like the center of gravity and the balance. So when it comes down to even customization, so a mid-drive bike for me is way more customizable than a hub drive motor, for the simple fact that if you wanted to upgrade your wheels, want to put Swiss wheels on your mountain bike, you can. You keep the motor there, change out the wheels, hubs, spokes, and
yeah,
it would be no different. I could pull the wheels off my mountain bike and put it right here on this 10 ways, same exact size wheels, same exact, not same exact cassette, but the same ratio cassette. So there are some pros and cons, but when it comes to like, I see a comment here, depending on what you're riding in. I think somebody was saying like for city riding, they
yeah,
prefer a specific bike. For city riding, I would much prefer a hub drive motor and probably the Aerial Rider or anything that's like that. Like I think I have the Rev One DRT. I prefer something like that. If I'm riding through the city, I can just pop up and down curbs, hit trails.
right. But yeah, for mountain bike stuff, definitely mid drive for sure,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
I mean,
Because
well,
yeah,
even commuter, if you're commuting on the trail, like I ride every single day on mainly I have a regular commuter bike over here that has no motor. But when I'm not riding that, like on a day like today, it's really windy. I'm like, well, I really want to ride that 30-mile ride, but I don't want to die. I'm gonna take the 10 ways out, put it on level one, and I'll still do the 30. And it just that little bit of assist just still feels
hmm
like a traditional ride for me, you know?
hmm yeah,
Have you ever reviewed any 10 ways bikes?
I have not. I have not. I've seen it. I know that my buddy Mike from Electric Revolution, he does a lot of 10-way bikes. I mean, they look like
They're
great
good bikes. They're
commuters.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're nice bikes.
yeah. It's just funny that there's just um, so many, bike manufacturers out there and bikes. Um, I am Manham, Mangham. He just said mid drive is the king of mountains. I agree. I agree with that. The A100 mid drive motor that is on the Event Ramblers and on the Adventure M, dude, you can just climb up anything with that thing. It's
Mhm.
crazy, And I have a giant Trans XE plus three. It I think it has a Yamaha motor in it, and that thing would climb as well. It only has 85 newton meters of torque. It doesn't climb like the 100 newton meters of torque that the Event has, but it would still, like, it's still pretty messed up.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think, like, when it comes to brands, like Avent and Velotric, do you think that they're in competition with each other like Electric and Rad Power are? Like they're
I
watching each
want
other's
I
moves?
100% think that Event and Electric watch what each one is like. They pay attention, because if you take a look, here's how you can tell whenever they do their comparisons on the
Mhm.
sheets of paper or whatever. Whoever they're trying to follow or compete with, that's who they show up as the competition.
Gotcha.
And it's always with electric, it's always Aventon.
Yeah. Oh,
You
and do
know,
so
when
so do you think that, like, what you would call what they like to call proprietary. So, like, not giving anything away, but my last visit with Velotric, they had proprietary stuff that or quote proprietary stuff that they're introducing to these new bikes. Do you think like
Mhm.
a brand like a Veton is going to use the same technology or have their own version of that proprietary? Or do you think that it's not proprietary, it's just a brand made it for them, so now they're able to use it?
No, I think that they come up with their own, but one thing that I just thought about was Velotric was the first ones that I was aware of to come out with the sensor swap, where the torque could go into cadence.
And so
Then
simple too, right there in the
yeah,
display, really easy to do.
well, no, now you can just do it while you're writing, dude. You just
Yeah,
hold
right
down
in
the
the
M
app.
button. Yeah,
Yep,
it'll do it while you're writing. You just hit the M button and it switches, so you don't even have to hop into the app.
yep.
And then down the road, Aventon just introduced it. So, are these guys looking at each other, seeing these things, seeing that there are benefits? Yeah. And then it just makes every company step up. And because of that, we win as consumers because now every bike company is stepping up to try to compete with the other one. And we're just getting bikes that are better and better. And that's my opinion on it.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, a brand like Lectric has forced a brand like Hey Bike to
Yeah.
do the exact same thing. Hey Bike had the exact same frame, the exact same specs on all of their versions of their foldable bike up until this most recent one with the new Mars 3.0 and the Ranger 3.0 Pro. They finally came out with new motors. They finally upgraded their stuff because a brand like Lectric had pushed them. And that's honestly what Levi had said. He goes, my goal is to basically control that part of the industry or force them to change. And they'll either change or they'll fall apart.
Yeah.
And that's what's
Well,
happening.
yeah. Dan Marine says the same thing. Competition is always a benefit, it serves the buyer.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, dude, I'm such a freaking bike nerd though. Like I get excited when I see like when something else new is introduced and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I want to review that bike," right? Just because it has, something that I haven't tested with another bike or I'm like, "Oh my gosh, that feature is going to be so cool." Do you like I've purchased I think 5 or 6 bikes this year, right? And I say that because I know my wife's at the grocery store. Um,
Yeah.
but uh bikes are always come and go, so she has no clue.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I purchased like 5 or 6 because I wanted to, I want to experience that bike myself. And I don't know, do you ever like purchase any of the bikes that you review or
Let's see in here. Man, I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't purchased a bike in a good while. I'm looking around here of purchased ones. Probably the closest one would be my e-mountain bike that's over there. It's a Canadian brand, Nolly. Um, that's the last one. I mean, like, it's not that I'm above purchasing. I think right now, it's just if I wanted to review something and they haven't reached out to me, I probably could reach out to them and review it. Usually, a lot of these brands, they have you on like a list, basically a list of like, here's 10 creators. And I've been working with brands as a consultant
yeah.
over the past year to like help them narrow their focus into in my opinion, and you've been a part of this list, in my opinion, some of the best creators that are in the space that they should only work with 5 to 10 of these creators because you're always going to get the most authentic reaction out of it versus and go back to your point before when you said where you were talking about how we all have to release a video on the same day. I hate that.
Mhm.
I think that if you're going to do like it shouldn't be I think they should have a release date for the bike that they're promoting like they're doing a promo and I'll come back to the consulting part. They're doing a promo on the 23rd, and then anytime after the 25th, we can post videos and no specific time. Not everybody posted at 10 a.m. A good example would be, hey, when these new AirPods come out, right? I'm not watching 20 videos from 20 different creators. I'm watching 3 different videos. I'm watching probably MKVHD, whatever his name is,
Mhm.
a couple other creators, and I've made my decision. And what else sucks with that is half the time, if I was to go use a discount code, I'm good where I will go back to the first video. So if I watched your video, Scott, on the Aero Rider X Class 60 volt, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go watch another one on Bike Cave. I'm gonna go watch another one on this one. Most people, they've already by the fourth one, they made their decision. They're either gonna use no promo code or they're gonna use the last video that they watched their promo code. Me, I'm probably the only person that goes back to the very first one that stuck with me, and I'll use yours. And I think like it's too it's too competitive. I don't want to say competitive. I guess it's too competitive, but yes, oversaturated in that area. So that's where my consulting, where I've like worked with brands like Velatric and Electric and all and half a dozen other brands, which I'll talk to you off camera about, where I'm like, hey, I know like 10 really good creators, and we could all work together and we could put together a trip. And that's how this one with Velatric that's happening right now. I would say the reason why that got brewing is because I talked to the owner when he was in Jersey, and I'm like, "Yo, you guys really need to do a creator event." And the thing is, these brands are starting to listen. So, like, if we're able to focus just on 10 creators that are giving into the community and they give us full access to those products, then we can provide the best product for the viewer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we could help them with the authentic um, testing of
Because if
these
they put out like
bikes.
30, if they put out 30, like, here, we got 30 bikes, that's $30,000. Let's just be realistic. In their, if you look at a brand like Hey Bike, and Hey Bike gave out 15 Mars bikes, that's 15 grand in it's not real money for them. I mean, it's half of that. So if we go how much it actually costs them to make the bike and have it shipped to your door, I could dive down that rabbit hole if you want to. I know how much it costs. If they're charging 1,200 bucks, it's less than half of that for them to produce the bike, ship it, and have it to the consumer in their hands. So when they're shipping us a bike, it costs them maybe 600 bucks, but they're doing 15 of them, oversaturating the market instead of just doing 5. They only need to do 5. Maybe 5, me, you, a couple other creators just on the Mars. We don't get the Ranger. And then the other 5 creators get the Ranger 3.0 Pro instead of us getting all of them, if that
All
makes
of them.
sense.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying. Actually, I think who was I talking to about that? Was it um
I'm jumping off subject, so I apologize
no,
for
no,
that.
no, no,
I like
but
getting down that rabbit hole.
no, I mean it makes sense because well, I think that people have, you know, you're talking about bouncing to the very first one that you saw for their discount code or whatever, their link.
Yeah,
And um to me, I feel like not every review is either complete or, you know, it's missing something, you know, or you didn't get like whatever question that you might have in your head, like didn't get
yeah,
answered with that review. So then they hop to another review. And then whoever answers that question, then I feel that that's what they did. They click on, they're like, you were the one that answered the question. Boom. I'll use your link in your account because, you know, so
absolutely. Because it identifies with something you're looking at.
right. And that's kind of how uh I look at it, you know, for stuff like that. Um I'm trying to bounce in here uh, on the chat. We have like 26 people in here. We've been here for a while.
Here, how about this? How about this? Shout out to Vid Mashup. I appreciate your support.
You oh what it oh my gosh, I just now seen that.
I don't care, dude. There's no face to it. I don't care.
Um who's I wonder where do you live? Because uh
So I live on the East
Madham
Coast. I'm out in Delaware.
okay. Because Mad he says he's miserable here, wet and cold, but then he pops up this like, where are you at, dude? Where are you at then where you're hating life? Um Let
But
him
how cold
answer
is it where
that.
you're at right now? Right here, it's 43. What about you?
It is it's dude, it's 32 and snowing where I'm at.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I don't want that
And
just yet.
yeah, how how cold will you do or like I do reviews all year round. The coldest I've done is like -12. I reviewed the Solterra.
You're insane. You're at I mean, well, first off, I need to know which bike did you do that with?
On the event in Solterra.
Man, how I need send me the link to that video when we're off here. I would love to see how that bike performed in that weather. Oh my gosh. That's
Dude,
insane.
it performed well. And then the other one was a -6 with the Mauve can. I can't remember. It was the Pro version, so it was dual battery, dual motor, and that one I had to abandon at a zoo because I was too far from home when the batteries drained real quick on that one because of the weather. But no, I'll send you the link on the Solterra one because literally the title says Sub Zero -12. But I
So
think
how
it was
cold so that's the coldest you did, -12.
well
That's
negative.
crazy.
So it was -12 wind chill. I know it was like something, but the wind is evil in
And
Chicago.
are you talking in these videos at
Yeah,
-12? Like outside? Nah.
yeah.
So I'll give you a little bit of backstory. I'll film all of the B-roll, all the clips that I need to film out there. If I'm able to speak out in the cold, I will. But the thing is, if I can't feel my face, I'm not going to speak there. But I'll do all the speaking here in the building, and like the voiceover, or depending on how I want to edit it. Do I want to?
Mhm.
Sometimes I'll edit it to be to where the video is behind me, or I'm just voiceovering that section. Okay, the bike performed at this point,
Yep.
and maybe even like after I do the speed test, I'll show the camera my high speed test. I don't know. I've never it usually doesn't get really cold here. It's -12, I can't even imagine. I think the coldest I've ever done a video might be 20 degrees, and the wind and it wasn't, like, super windy. We don't get weather like that. I mean, you're talking Chicago, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I've even when I did the Velotrek Nomad 2, there's a part of it. So I don't do voiceovers. It is what it is, right? Because normally when I take a bike out, now that one was broken into sections because I tested it in every it came out at a time frame when I could test it in every possible situation, snow, sand, right? And there's a part of that video where it looks like I'm literally on the moon because I'm on this beach that has snow, and
That's cool.
Lake Michigan had iced up, so you couldn't even see it, and it just had this just weird landscape around me. Um, Easy E says it's 21 there in Indy, and he just rode 6 miles. So there you go.
Yeah, I
Right.
mean,
So
it
see, I'm not the
depends,
only
like
one.
I mean, it depends. If it's really windy, like today, it's kind of windy. So, like this, was it? What did I say it was 43? The 43 might not feel less than 36. But
Yeah.
if it was not windy right now, I could probably ride just in a long sleeve shirt outside. It's pretty
Yeah.
mild.
Yeah. 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 Well, but I mean, my philosophy is the reason I do these in the wintertime is because not everybody lives in California or Florida, right? Yeah. Yeah, Matt.
Do you visit those areas like in the dead of winter to kind of do reviews in different spaces? Like for instance, if you know any creators in Florida, if you're like, hey, can I review your one like a bike from your setup down there? Do you do
No,
any of that?
no. Now, I mean, I did go down to see Matt from Electric All Wheel because I had not reviewed the Magician Alpha, and he had one. He also
Okay.
had he also had the Wired Predator,
Okay.
and I when that bike first came out, I was like one of the first people to ride it. Steve from Wired called me and he's like, "Dude, I have the only Predator in existence. And you want to come ride this?" And this is before he sent it down to Brian from Citizen Cycle.
What's the max
And
speed on that, on the Predator?
dude, it was I've seen people to get up to like 68 miles an hour.
What?
I had it up to 56
Wow.
or 57 and I ran out of room.
That's insane.
Um yeah, so I was like dude, when I got off that bike I'm like, "Bro, why did you even create this? Like there is literally no need for this bike." And Steve started laughing. He's like, "I know, dude, it doesn't make any sense." So, but that was I only rode it for like an hour, right? And so
Yeah.
so then Matt was like, "Dude, come down. I have the Magician Alpha, and I have the Predator down here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I come on down." And so we did it. So that's the only time I've gone to like, unless I've been invited by a company, like Aventon knows that, when they came out with the Rambless, like they're like, "Dude, all your single tracks are closed up there." And I'm like, "You are correct." Right. So they're like, "All right, come on down to San Clemente, where you can test our mountain bike at." And I'm like, "Awesome." So unless it's a company that's invited me to come down to warmer weather, I had not done it before. And really, when I went down to see Matt at Electric All Wheel,
Mhm.
I mean, the weather was still good up here in Chicago. So now that now that you've mentioned that, though, Matt does have some bikes coming in that I do
I
not.
think that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart to
Yeah,
do.
but it really throws me off because I like my Hill of Doom. I like my Hill of Pain. I like the place that I
Yeah.
do my sand test. So and I try to make it to where all these bikes go through the same process so you can really tell, like, okay, that went through this and went through that. Well, this other bike did the same thing, didn't perform as well. So when I go down there or any place else, it's kind of hard. Like I can't recreate the reviews on how I like to review them.
I'd like to come out there and maybe springtime. I'll come out and visit, and I'll put this bike in I have a OGO flight bag that I take bikes with me, like BMX or mountain bikes with me.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
This guy will fit in there. Here, let me pop it in the screen a little bit so people, just in case, I see people say they love e-bikes. Let's see what we got here. See if we can get the background to be more of this guy is pretty insane. If we can see the motor at all.
Well, I mean, you're kind of small. I can see the battery, which is underneath the top tube,
Yep.
right? And then where's the motor at? Because is it a mid drive?
It's a high drive motor.
Which I'd never seen one of those.
Yeah, it's proprietary. So it's a high drive motor system that they developed, and
Is that
I
dual
mean,
chains coming off of that? So you have a
it
chain
is.
coming down to the chain ring, and then another chain going back to
Oh
the
yeah.
hub, or just is that a? I can't see if it's just a normal cassette or if there's.
Yeah,
Well,
so it's a
it wouldn't be a
normal
hub. Yeah,
Chimera cassette that they make, and then the chain comes up here into the motor, and there's a dual clutch system here, and then the other chain comes down here to allow you to be able to pedal it like a regular bike, or use the motor to be able to throttle only, like what he says, like a motorcycle.
yeah. Jacksologist asked. He's like, is it IP rated?
All
Because
right.
it does look pretty
He
exposed.
uses Molly cells, and I think it is like real low IP rated. The controller, it's on the back under the seat. Definitely, you can't get that thing saturated.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it looks pretty dope. I mean,
That's
well,
pretty
but
awesome.
the cool thing is for my friends, so you guys stay in my guest room, and then I watch you sleep at night. I read you uh, nighttime stories. They're owners' manuals, but so I do that to tuck you in, and then I just stand over you and watch you sleep at night. That's basically how that works whenever people come up and visit.
That makes me feel safe. Do you got your night vision on?
No. Tim and I did a skit doing that where he made it look like there was a security like a spy camera
Mhm.
going on. So then we did these scenes where I was just like staring at him like in the dark. It looked like some kind of paranormal activity thing. Oh, it made me
That's
laugh,
what you
dude.
should do. You should ride around Chicago with night vision on. Boom.
Oh my god, no. Then they would be like, yeah, dude, you are definitely. They're like, we spotted him. No, I'd probably get swarmed. What hustle? I just interviewed Chris Cross, and we talked about uh, how Scott is very consistent. He has too much ADHD to reviews in the same place, same route all the time. It just, you know what? It just makes sense for me because everything I'm doing is I still want to do it safely, and I feel like at this point I found such consistent and good areas to get the same results
Yeah, that's
out
what
of
you
the same
should
bike.
do. That way viewers can expect, they know what to expect if they see you using the same route, you're getting results in the same space, so you have a more authentic review.
Yeah, but I also like doing them up here at the cabin as well because then people do get a different view. Now they don't have like the Hill of Pain or the Hill of Doom here, but uh, I realized that, dude, just film those in Chicago and then insert them into the reviews up here, which is what I did with the last one. That's what I did with the Ranger 3.0.
Mhm.
Um,
Did you like that
look,
bike?
I did. I My favorite bike was the Ranger S, that 1,000 watt
Oh, yeah, yeah,
version.
yeah.
That thing was a freaking monster. And so to be honest, I was expecting the 3.0 to be like just as good, right?
Mhm.
It's tamed down more, and I'm like, I get it, right? It was more like the Ranger S, but like the 750 watt, not the 1,000 watt. I do like the technologies that they come up with it. Did I like the bike? Yes. But then Hey Bike reached out and they said, dude, would you like to review the Hey Bike Ranger S 2.0? And I'm like, send it. So that thing is on its way. Apparently, you can only buy it at Best Buy.
Interesting. So
Um,
they must have only did, like, a limited run?
yeah, I'm assuming, or maybe Best Buy was like, look, we want to be the exclusive partnership for that. I just think the bike looks cool. It's done in matte black and white. So it's got
Oh, that sounds good.
white wall wheels and stuff. So right when I was like, yes, send that one. I will definitely. But I don't know if it's going to perform like the 750 version or the 1000. I really don't have any specs on this bike yet. So that's just, Frantic TV Tim says you are his favorite content creator.
Frantic TV is awesome. I met him for the first time, I think it was like Electrify Expo in New York. Uh, yeah, I think I had this Chimera with me actually as well. So good
That's what he
people
was
there. They
asking.
do they do really good videos.
Yeah. It was like, is that the Chimera BMX? It
Oh
is.
yeah. See if I can pop it on.
So
Might be
does that
might
even
be
have a
dead.
display on it? I don't hear anything. It's pretty quiet.
Yeah, no display. So it's very, very minimalistic.
Yeah, as it
Um,
should.
but actually this was the very first one that they made. So I was this is 001 of I think 100 of the very first batch, and then I have the Shadow as well. It's a funny story, dude. Like meeting Austin from Chimera. I was out on a trip for Hemingway out in California. We were doing this thing called the Hemingway Long Range Challenge, where they basically flew three of us out there and um, had us ride down Pacific Coast Highway over 3 days, doing 220 miles on their electric bikes. And after the event,
Ooh.
or I was posting on my story that I was out in California, and Austin DM me and was like, "Hey, by any chance will you be in LA?" So I was like, "Yeah, just for my flight out." And he was like, "Whatever time it is, I'll come out. I want to show you my bike." So like midnight, 1 a.m., he drives out to LA from his area and he shows me this. And I was like, "This is amazing." It was it was a I'd say more of a Frankenstein setup than this. This is more of like controlled, and he has a much better setup. And now it used to just be like the battery would be wrapped around. He had like a cable going around it. Now he has like these little rivet holes into the bottom of the top tube. And basically, so I put out a YouTube short on that when shorts were like just becoming popular, and that video, I think it got like 5 million views. So many people into it, and then I put out another like a long form video, and it got like 1 million views. I was like, wow, this many people are into an electric BMX bike, but it's because of this whole high drive system. This system is one of a kind. Honestly, I think it would absolutely kill it if they were able to do this on a mountain bike frame. And I did an interview with Austin maybe like 3 months ago when I was out in California last, and he was talking about that. He's like, we're actually working on a mountain bike frame, and it's just a matter of like getting the geometry right because this high drive motor, it may look like it's cumbersome and kind of takes up a lot of space, but it's actually really minimalistic. And the first thought that people say is, "What about this? This looks really dangerous, like your pant leg, your ankle,
Yeah,
or something like
right.
that."
Yeah.
But I promise you, like I've done tail whips on this, which is like where the bike makes a full rotation when you hold onto the handlebars, and it's no different than when I'm riding and doing on my BMX bike because I'm catching the crank arms, landing my feet on the pedals, not catching this.
Uh-huh.
Now, if you stuck your finger in there, yeah. Like if I run the motor again, it's this chain here is the one that's moving the clutch motor up here. This allows you to be able to pedal, but there's no pedal assist. So if I'm pedaling it like this, it's not going to go. It's only throttle only.
Oh, so then you just throttle it when you're trying to pick up that extra speed instead of like pedaling for before another. If you're in between jumps and then you're trying to get the
Yep.
speed for the second jump, you can just hit the throttle and just give her the
Yeah,
go.
I would say it's more for that. I mean, not to say you can't hit a skate park or street ride with it. It's more for that enthusiast that like loves the feel of a BMX, like a true BMX, because you have like zoos that claim to be
Yeah.
BMX, and they kind of like have a feel to it. But you know what it is? It's like a 1970s BMX, if that makes sense to you, like with the
Yeah,
banana
it does.
seats.
Yeah, that's what I was
Um,
getting ready to say.
but this has like a real BMX authentic feel to it. Like you could still hit jumps and ride and pop off curbs, like but as you're going to work in the city or just like a weekend warrior type of a trip through the city, you could hit trails on this. It feels really well balanced. But what feels even better is the chromoly version because I won't lie, the titanium, it's light, it's very good. This bike weighs like 32 or 34 pounds, I think. It weighs a little less now because I put two Belito tubes in it, which are like a latex tube. They cut half the weight. If you're ever interested in cutting weight on your bike, guys, it's a little pricey, but two Belito tubes will look when your wheels are rotating, your bike is as heaviest. So a rotating wheel is a very heavy mass. So when you're able to cut that weight in half because of the tube, it makes a huge difference. So that cut a lot of the weight down. But I was gonna say with the frame, titanium flexes a lot. So I will say I did notice like at the skate park or if I was doing jumps, the bike just felt like it sponged a little bit because of
Mhm.
titanium. But then when I jumped on the chromoly, that thing's a beast, but it is heavier. I think that one is 38 or 39 pounds for that whole bike.
I feel like, you know, when it comes to, I've seen people try to make their e-bikes lighter, right? And most of the time you only see that when on the mountain bikes, right?
Yeah.
Because they're,
Like
that's
with carbon, you're saying?
yeah, like they'll switch something out to make it lighter or remove something. And to me, I'm like, it's an e-bike, right? Like it's gonna have the power to do what you need to do. Like I don't really focus on making bikes lighter. Now you say that, but then I mean I say that, but then the Wired Warrior is like 145 pounds. But you
Wow,
have a
that's a legit motorcycle.
yeah, well, you have a battery in the down tube, and then you have another 15 amp hour battery on the back, on the rear rack. And I've seen
Understood.
people, I've, so that just becomes a performance issue at that part. So I've seen some people where they've taken off they're like, all right, the 20 amp hour battery in the front's going to be enough to do what I want to do. Um, and then, so they'll take that off, not to necessarily make it lighter, but just to make it perform better.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
know,
know what you're
so
saying.
but like if somebody removes like a pound or two, I don't see that. But if you can drop 15 pounds on a bike, then that would be a big notice. But then again, I don't do the BMX type stuff that you do.
Well, you don't
Um,
necessarily have to, but on that wired, to cut you off real quick, that bike, I would never cut weight on that because it's heavy for a reason. Like if
mhm.
you start taking weight off that, you're kind of mess with the structural integrity. So if you're like, I'm gonna get lighter wheels, with all like the lighter wheels won't be able to take the impact if you were not even impact of making jumps. Let's say you were just to pop off a curve. The
Yeah,
wheels that are on that wired are probably specifically made for the weight capacity of that entire bike.
yeah, they're double
So
walled.
yeah,
I think
so
they
you
have
get
like
it.
13 gauge,
Yep,
s- you know, uh, whatever they're called, spindles,
spokes.
spokes. Thank you.
Yep.
There's a lot of times, dude. I can't tell you how many times I have to re-record whenever I'm doing like specs because I forget like how a word should be said.
Here, how about
Right.
this? What is the part name that holds the spokes to the rim? Trivia right
Next
here, everyone.
question. Next question.
Oh, you don't want to say that word out loud?
No, it's against my religion.
That's funny. Yes. A
That's
grown
good.
man doesn't want to say
No,
nipples.
is that what it is?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
I
nips.
probably knew that.
No, I know.
Um, I,
It wasn't even a trivia question. I just wanted to see if you'd be like struggling to say the word nipples.
oh no, no, I like nipples. I have a couple. I don't even know if you knew that, but
Oh,
I have
you have a
my own.
couple.
I do. I have my
Nice.
own. Frantic TV said, Scott, how did I turn my cyber to white? So I actually went. The funny thing is, that's the second. It's been wrapped. That's a vinyl wrap. It's matte white, and that's the second time I wrapped it. The first time I did it in like this cool blue with black accents. But the
Oh,
bad
cool.
part was there was too many red accents on the so like you got this switch that's red, you got that's its red, and then you had like the back spring, it was red, and it just didn't look right. And so I'm like, okay, well, I love my RAV4 and it is matte white with black. So I'm like, all right, let's just do the bike the same way. And then I took the Segway logo and had to make it real big and then just like cut part of it off to
That's
make
cool.
to just give it a different look and feel. So $750, you can probably get a company to wrap it like I was able to. Um, Electric All Wheel, he said nipple. He got to it before.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can
Yeah,
can I can I address this question here? Somebody had asked, "What's the best electric BMX?" I think right here. It says, "Mike, uh, what bike would you say is the best electric BMX?" That is Watt
Watt
Hustle.
Hustle.
I appreciate the question. That will all depend on your opinion on what an electric BMX is and what your budget is. Because I will say, the first electric BMX that I ever had was the one I made, and I did it with my BMX bike. I don't know, up on the wall over here. I used a mid-drive motor by a company called Paradox Kinetics, and I don't think they are around anymore. But it was a carbon fiber casing, which made it really light. And I was able to tuck it. I had to like specially modify the bottom bracket so this would fit. but it made it really unique because I was still able to like ride BMX and do tricks. So it was technically an electric BMX. And the next one that came out, I think, was by this company called Swift. I think it's like a really cheap version. It was basically just like a hub drive, 350-watt motor on a BMX like high tensile steel frame. Um, I never got one of those, but I saw where they were going with it. And then you had zoos come out with theirs, which were to get to the BMX enthusiast, right? Like you're going to get that feeling, the guy that's 40, 45, maybe 50. It's like I rode BMX when I was younger. This gives me the vibe and the feel. I'm not going to do tricks, but I can at least cruise on it and still have that feeling. But that price point is still kind of right there with the Chimera, which is behind me. If you want a real, true, authentic BMX feeling when you're like cruising, let's just say you have trails near you, there's just a pump track, Chimera. If you're comfortable doing jumps, this is well balanced. It's the Chimera. The price point, I mean, it's sometimes it's not for everyone. You know, it can be as low as I think right now. The Shadow might be like I'm probably going to misquote it. Let me just triple check. I want to say it's like 2 grand. Um, but you like the titanium one was way more. The titanium was more of the flagship, like the Tesla Model S is now to the Model 3. In order for them to make cheaper bikes, they had to do high end bikes in order to get people involved. So you can get the Shadow Chimera, which is the steel one I have over here. It's out of frame for 3,100, and that is the same motor setup you're getting here. And I think you get, I don't know if he's still offering it right now. You're getting $200 off for Black Friday, but you get a 52-volt or a 36-volt pack. So depending if you're wanting a higher top speed, you want the 52-volt. If you want a longer range, and you want the 36-volt, it just has a lower top speed.
But which
But it's
one? You said that
good.
bike behind you does like 40 miles an hour, right?
Yeah, so I will say I had it. Mine is not to spec what's on here.
Oh,
Austin,
okay.
because Austin like gave me access to his app, and I basically this range wise, I'm probably not even joking, maybe getting 15 miles of range if I was to be full throttle. If I'm chilling, because I can change the torque levels and everything. If I really want to milk it, I can probably get the higher range that they're putting out here on the 36-volt pack. But at the end of the day, this is a fun bike. Like you're gonna pedal like your regular BMX bike. So you're pedaling through the city, you're cruising. But if you're just trying to keep up with your boys, or you're not trying to break a sweat, you can hit that throttle and you know be going.
Yeah. Watt Hustle did ask, what are your thoughts on the Stromer ST series?
So let's see. Ah man, that's interesting. So that it's I feel like it's a nice bike. I would say it's not my favorite. Um I think
Have you review that one?
I haven't reviewed that one. I've like ridden. So like I said, I'm very picky with what I am checking out, but I would say that I've ridden them before. I've never fully reviewed. So I haven't spent more than like 15, 20 minutes seat time on a bike like that. But it depends on which series. I'm trying to see the one I rode here. I think it was the ST1. Yeah, I'm looking on the site right now. It was the ST1 is the one I rode. The ST2 I probably would prefer because it looks like it's a mid drive, or is that a hub drive motor? Nope, hub drive. Yeah, I mean, they look like they're interesting bikes. I'd be into it. I would say like it all comes down to personal preference. If you have a bike shop near you, do you have bike shops near you that sell electric bikes, Scott?
Um, yeah, but it's funny that the place that does all of my bikes doesn't sell electric bikes.
Really?
Yeah, they yeah, they don't sell them, but they work on every bike that I've got coming in. Well, that's not true. So I got my Cyber at a place called Electric Movement, and they're in Chicago. And then there's like a couple of Eric's. Um, I was just in Electric Movement the other day. I just wanted to see what the new stuff they had in because they had some Super 73s and well, they did have a couple of the 80 or not the 80-volt Onyx, but a couple of their earlier model ones. So yeah, so I guess I do. I mean, they're out there. There's only one or two that I will visit. I know I've been to this place called Eric's Bikes, and they sell like the event and then the Bellatrix stuff. But Electric Revolution or Electric Movement sells all like the goat motorbikes. I don't know if they do aerial rider yet, but
I mean, the
they did.
Stromer bikes are super high end, though. Like you're getting
Um,
that's a high end bike.
Yeah, they didn't do it. Um, Frantic TV asked, "What do you guys think about the one-wheel mini bike, the Antic?"
I like it.
Yeah, I've
I
seen
I I think it looks fun. I mean, I would
it.
it's one of those things where it's like, I don't wanna say it's a gimmick, but I'd say it's like one of those it's no different than probably me riding the drift board that's over here. I did a video on this contraption that's a half motorcycle or electric scooter and skateboard, and the whole ability of it is, like, to do drifts and to, like, slide and get
Yeah,
into everything. But it's like, I'm not gonna go cruising like around on the trails with it. It's like I'm gonna pull out in front of my house and set up some cones and set up some fun things. And that's where I see that like contraption being as well. Like it's not like I'm not gonna do pull it out for any other reason than just have some fun in the neighborhood.
yeah. Well, I saw it and I'm like, "Oh, Willie on this thing," right? But then I saw that it didn't have any, that it didn't have any pedals, right? I'm like, "Where
Yeah.
am I gonna ride this thing?" This is why you don't see me, like, reviewing e-motos, 'cause
Yeah.
we're where am I gonna take this thing? I think it's adorable. I think it looks fun. Um, but it's not for me. I watched the videos on it. I'm like, "Okay, this thing would be a freaking blast," and you
Yeah,
just
but
get the tiny
Scott, then you'd be
pedals.
able to wheelie. Then you'd be able to wheelie.
Well, yeah, okay,
I,
and?
I, I need I need to see this video. I need to see this. We need to reach out to this company and get them to send you one of the bikes. I need to see Scott wheeling.
I would do it. I'd probably dude, you probably hear me giggling like a little school child if that was the case, right?
That'd be
But that's all
amazing.
I'd be doing down the 606 passing people, "Hey, how's it going? How you doing?" "On your
Just on
left.
your left,
On your
on your
left.
left.
On your"
Yeah,
Oh,
on your
that thing
left.
does look
Yeah,
fun.
don't
Yeah.
mind me. I'm so good.
Yeah,
I'm so
just
good at
yeah.
wheeling.
I could just do this all day long. Yeah, so that's, I mean, I've seen that's a good question though, because I mean that it's been getting a lot of, it's popping up everywhere on all of my, socials, that little bike. Um, Matt from Electric All Wheel. Mike, any thoughts towards proprietary design? Like think Jackrabbit and Hemingway. How do you claim a unique design?
Well, that was a blatant ripoff. That's how you claim that. He's referring to the bike that never came, or the the bunny that never came, because you couldn't even call Hemingway's a jackrabbit. It was basically it was a Shreddy McSkate down, bring him up again. He has one of those Hemingways. They sent him, and before he could even film, I think the day that he came in, he just put it together, and I was down there, and he was like, they just emailed me and said I can't even put a video out on this, and to never ride it out in public. There is a class action lawsuit." So then I
Oh
confirmed
no.
with Jason, with Jackrabbit. He's like, "Yeah, we're suing the shit out of them." It was like it was one of those things. I can't tell you if they actually had I'm sure they did, some type of like CAD and like own the rights to that design. I'm sure they do. I'll probably have to look back on our interview to find out if he talked about that. But it was a blatant ripoff. Like the only difference is maybe the thickness of the tubing, the same exact geometry and style of the framing, everything. Everything was the exact same. And because Jackrabbit was taking that space, they've taken that like camper space, if that makes sense, and like a lot of foldable bike companies have been affected by it.
I know. You know what? I've actually seen the Jackrabbit in person, and I've seen it in Chicago. Some dude was riding it on the 606, and I felt like I was like, okay, that's like the only bike that I think you could get by with like riding it with, because it doesn't have pedals, right? So it just has foot pegs, but it looks so much like a bike that like you could get by riding it down the down the people trails
That's what
without.
Jason said.
Yeah.
He said it's considered technically considered a scooter
Okay, I can see
because
that.
of I think it falls into some type of regulations with the battery size as well as the motor, and it can
Mhm.
fall in line with a scooter. Not to mention that he's able to like take it on an airplane and the battery on an airplane because it's within the under a certain amount of
Oh,
like to be
yeah,
able to fly on an airplane with it. He's able to put the batteries right in his bag.
yeah, I can see that too. Plus, I can't imagine the thing probably just fit into a normal. Take that front wheel, I'll probably just fit into like a normal suitcase. You roll it down through the thing almost. I have not
Yeah.
reviewed, not reviewed anything like that though,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Well,
Um,
I think you would like their new one. They have like a newer, bigger one, which I think is pretty unique. They're kind of selling it as like the beach one where like you put surfboard on the side
Oh,
and
yeah, I
have
think
you
I
seen
saw
that one?
that. Yeah,
It
I
looks
think
pretty
I did.
cool. I mean, it looks like it's on 24s, maybe 26s. I'll have to ask him.
Yeah. I don't think it was 26s, but I'd probably say 24, but,
Yeah.
looks like Watt Hustle has a question here. Mike, since you have tested a lot of high output setups, what's the real world difference between amp hours versus watt hours?
That's
When it comes
that
to actual usable range?
man, that's it's completely, it depends on who you are, right? I mean, like my perspective on that could be different than Scott's for sure. We ride totally different, right?
Well, yeah, I ride safer, I believe. I've
Like I'm full throttle, so it's like I'm not
yeah.
even gonna lie to you, I don't even pay attention. I mean, when I'm doing a review, I do, but I'm saying like when I'm if I'm riding this air rider, it's in front of me, I'm not even gonna be worried about what type of range I'm getting out of it because I'm not trying to use it as a commute bike to go 45 miles. I'm using it like, okay, I want to go to that trail that's 15 miles away from me. Okay, I got 75% battery. I can go there, have some fun, come back. Um, but I can see where he's coming from, and and you would want to know the exact amount of watt hours you're getting out of a battery pack. That's a good question. And honestly, it depends on the weather scenario, how hard I'm actually riding the bike. I don't really know how to answer that question.
Yeah,
It's a difficult one.
I think the Ninja, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, so whenever he reviews an e-bike, he just does throttle only. Right?
So he doesn't even
That's
pedal any of them?
no, because he's like, if it's an, he's like, because if you pedal it, well, you can skew the whole thing, right? So
Mhm.
he'll just throttle it, and then I don't even know if he does a full range test one, but he'll just throttle the bike because he's like, all right, well, if it's an electric bike, let's see how far it can go via electric. And I'm like, and I thought about that. I was like, all right, I see the science behind that, right? But then I also am like, people are buying these bikes because they want to pedal,
Yep.
right? If not, you would just get like a scooter or something like that, you
Yeah.
know. Or well, I mean, the moped style bikes normally you don't really pedal those,
Yeah,
right?
not at all.
Yeah. Although the you have the Rev One DRT,
Mhm.
and dude, I have the Rev One full suspension, and that bike is so incredibly easy to pedal.
Yeah, I would say it's because also the crank arms. So they have a much
Yeah.
shorter crank arm on the bike, so
Yep.
it feels more authentic as a pedal versus like these. I want to say they're 175 millimeter
Once.
crank arms on this Aero Rider 60 volt. So it feels like you're almost like riding a climb bike. Your knees are coming up high.
Yeah.
You're riding wide legged, but like yeah, on the DRT, the crank arms. Oh man, I'm probably off, but they probably like 120 millimeters in length. They're really small.
Yeah.
So you're doing very small
Yeah.
revolutions around, um, and it feels more authentic as a riding. But at the end of the day, when you're riding these e-mopeds, you're not the cranks are on there to make others feel better, not you. You know, you're not really riding to make them feel better like it's a bike.
Right. Well,
Um,
that's what I was saying. Like with my Segway Cyber, like I don't pedal it, but if I'm on a bike trail, I'll fake pedal it. You know,
yeah,
I'll just move my legs around the thing. Um, yeah, and like Misadventure Lab says, they are buying with the pedals to make it look legal. Exactly.
correct. Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
um, ooh, the bike. Ben from the Bike Cave. Great question, Mike. What are your goals for your channel for 2026?
Man, I don't know. I don't really. I feel like just keep doing it. I don't know. I don't have like a set goal. I feel like the set goal is like keep doing it, maybe expand more into the news part of it. Keep diving deep into getting creators almost like a union together, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
yeah, it does.
I haven't really outwardly spoken about that on here on YouTube, but like yeah, like this not a union basically in the group chats just so people know a lot of us will talk about like rates on what they want to charge. Like, hey, this brand saying that asking for me for my rate, what should I do? And I wanted to start some type of union or like an understanding with creators. Like, this is what your set rate should be. Anything less, you're giving it away because otherwise, like your time is money. I mean, like it. I love doing what I'm doing, but like if I wanted to do it for free, then I would be buying these bikes and customizing them the way I want to, and not even doing a review on the bike. Like for instance, when I have my mountain bike that's over there, I bought that bike, everything about that, build it up from the ground up. So I bought the frame separate, the fork, the rear shock, the wheels, laced them up, did everything on my own. I didn't do a video on it, but if I wanted to do a video on something like that, I know that at the end of the day, that's mine, my hard-earned money. But when you have other creators that are in this space that are doing e-bike videos, like we all have the Aero Rider X class right now, but if one person's doing it for free, I know this is going to sound bad, but if one person's doing it for free, it hurts the other creators who are looking at this not just as something they love to do, but a profession, right? Like I rode BMX competitively for myself because I loved it, but also because I was afforded the time to be able to make money doing it as well. And you got to look at like risk versus reward as a business owner. Because Scott, I don't know if you look at your channel or like this as a business. I'm sure you do at this point. Um, every choice that you make filming wise, how much time you put into a video is a business transaction. Would you agree?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, yeah, because if I look at reviews that I did back when I first started to compared to now, well, the production quality is way higher than what it was
Yeah.
back then, just because of, we have our own styles of doing things, and and this, you kind of figure out what works for you. My reviews now are a lot longer than what they were because of the way that I test things. So, more time is invested. I've got a lot of money and equipment. I mean, I destroy drones all the time. So, you know,
But because you get paid for it, what I'm trying to say, I'm trying to come up with the right wording for it. But because you get paid for it doesn't mean that you don't enjoy it. Like you should be able to like enjoy what you should be able to get paid for what you enjoy
what you
doing, is what I'm
enjoy.
saying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
Well,
And that's why I was talking about doing the union. Like it's like not a union, but just an understanding with creators. Because there are a lot of
eh,
creators, I don't know if you've ever experienced it, where they just undercut each other. They're like, whatever, I'll do two bikes for this amount of money, you know?
oh, yeah. See, I don't. Well, I mean, you and I have talked about this before because, and like, Misadventure Lab says, especially if it's based on your video views and subscriber amount. So you can't deny that the fact that you get more opportunities or maybe a higher commission on reviewing an e-bike than with your 130,000 subscriber count, as opposed to my 26,000 subscriber count. So you and I, we have different ways of doing, where you would charge possibly more, and I don't know how much you charge, and nor do I need to, but um, where you would possibly charge more just to create the video, I might say, hey, I'll do it for this amount, but I want this for my affiliate sales, right? And so in turn, so we to have it to be where you just have like one. Um, I know what you're thinking. It'd be great to like have a set rate, or like, this is, if you want one of these 10 guys to do it, this is what it's going to cost you, this is what you're going to get for that, and that's how it is.
I mean, Area
um
13 and I talked about this in extent,
oh
about
yeah,
just
Kyle.
getting a groups, yeah, groups of people together. And when he, not to cut you off, when he called me one time and was like asking, like brainstorming, he's like, "Do you think this would be a good idea?" I was like, "Dude, I've been thinking about this for so long, and I think it would be great." And that's like my way of kind of, even if we don't do some type of union or understanding, my way of kind of contributing to that space is just being some type of, I I've been hired by half a dozen of these brands to consult to be able to find them what I think are legitimate creators. And if you watching this live stream right now, a lot of you guys might see that a lot of the creators you enjoy watching are getting fed the bikes that we have because of, I guess, like the formula that I'm kind of putting in there. I'm like, hey, like I don't want to put the person's name out there, but there is a creator out there that has got a very bad reputation right now, and I've tried to distance myself from that individual because of
We all do.
the past three. And I know who you're thinking of, but I'm thinking of like a different person. But I was at a trip recently, and they said, "Hey, yeah, I saw you were hanging out with this person. Do you know them?" I'm like, "Well, yeah, I know them." Well, they treated our or not our customer service, our team manager who was getting, you know, the bikes out to people,
Yeah.
they treated him like this. And I was like, really? And they're like, yeah. And they were really condescending like this. And I was like, well, I know him, but I don't like, I'm not affiliated with him. So I don't want that to have blowback on me. So what my whole point is
Yeah.
to trying to consult with these brands is getting them authentic people that aren't going to treat people like crap either, you know? Um, but I know I'm rambling on, but I feel like that's my own little way of like, since I guess we can't come to an understanding and like of a rate system, that my best way that I can try to help brands find the right people is to point them in the right direction. So like you know, Bike Cave, all these other creators that I think are authentic and good in the space. And that's a ramble on from 20. So basically going from like, what are my expectations of
So,
YouTube for
so
2026?
yeah.
I'm sorry, but like, I know I'm going all over the place because like I've had a very, I apologize. I've had a
No,
very
dude.
busy morning today too. Like I
But
said, I get before at 4.
that's what the
Um,
bike cave's about, dude. This bike talk, right? Because you just
yeah.
never know where it's going to lead. Because we have,
Oh, I got to know what I
the
can and can't say too. Like I don't want to I don't want to put stuff out there about things that we've talked about before but like you understand where I'm coming from.
yeah, absolutely. But see, here's the thing: we have it's not just people that watch our videos. We have creators on here as well. That guys that are, maybe they're starting their YouTube career and stuff like that. Like with Little Lemon, one there, they
Yeah.
have 366 subs. Good for you, bro.
That's
Like
amazing.
yeah, just keep going.
Seriously,
Um,
we've all been there. We've all been to 366.
100%.
We'll
I
all
started
you
my I
go
started
ahead.
my channel like 10 years ago, right? And that was when I was in the military and we were doing stupid we had to do we were asked to create public messages that went out on this military base. And I said, "Look, dude, well, I didn't say dude, but sir, commander, nobody wants to watch a talking head for 6 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, give us creative freedom and let us. So then we created all these characters and stuff like that. And then like back then when that whole thing shut down in like 2025, I put some of those videos on YouTube. And then I didn't really do anything with the channel. So if somebody goes
Yeah.
real far back, they're going to be like, what in the world was going on with this dude? Right.
Yeah,
Because,
yeah, I understand.
and then, so for those people that, you might have a YouTube channel that you haven't done anything with for a while, but if you have one, great. If not, start one, because we've all started at the beginning of somewhere. None of the videos
Absolutely.
that the videos that I did before had nothing to do with e-bikes.
And do it
Right.
because you love it. That's the thing. Like, do it
Yeah.
because you love it, not because you just want a free bike. People will be able to see through that BS really quickly, and that's why I'm trying to help
Yeah.
brands see through. And that's why, like, I recommend your channel to brands to work with, as well as others, because you're authentic. You love what you do, and there are plenty of people in this space that are just like, "Cool, I got a bike. These are the specs." Like, not. I know we're going off topic real quick, but please, do you have TikTok?
I do.
All right.
I have a whole
I never use TikTok, but randomly somebody sent me a TikTok. So like when you hit it and it opens up the app, so I'm like, okay, I'll watch
right.
their TikTok they sent me. And then the next thing that pops up is this live stream, and it's some random schmo selling an e-bike. Oh yeah, there's only 800 e-bikes left, and he's trying to give the specs, and I'm like, this guy is like, he's not even dedicated. The next thing he sold was a vacuum. It was almost like watching QVC on TikTok, you
Oh,
know?
yeah, that's yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I did see one guy too once that he was like, you should really buy this bike. All right, let's take it out for its first ride." And I'm like, "What?"
Dude, I
You know
commented, I was like, "You don't know what you're talking about. Nobody buy this bike." And I just got off TikTok.
Yeah, dude. Well, I don't really do anything with TikTok, and put that me in the bike lane yelling at people, and I got a lot of I mean, I picked up like 1,000 subscribers on there, but they're not happy
Dude.
ones. They're not happy. They're beating me up about that.
You're gonna have that. You're gonna have people
Yeah.
hating. That's why I said, like, I addressed the comment in your thing. Like, the only people opinions that matter, man, are like the ones closest to you. And yes, you can
Mhm.
take like constructive criticism from your viewers, especially if they're a long time viewer. But sometimes people pop in just to talk shit. You know, that's just what it
Oh
is.
my gosh, yeah. Yeah,
But
definitely.
I do want to address Bike Cave's question. I'm sorry I got off track. So it says, Mike, what are your goals for 2026? So like my goal last year, and I was able to achieve it, not just for the channel, but just for the business wise, is I was originally looking at a space to have as a studio, like rent a building, like a storefront, and rent out all the bikes that I have here to help it going. and then I would use that space to film videos. And then I looked at like the numbers. I'm like, okay, well, they want $1,000 a month for that 1,800 square foot space. I'm like, okay, $1,000 a month, 12 months, but I'm not getting I mean, you're getting a return on investment if you're looking at it business wise, how much profit you're bringing in. But then I'm looking at like that's money just going out the window. It's no positive equity, if you understand what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
then I contacted our local Amish in our area, and I had a pole building built on my property. So the way I looked at it was like this investment, and I'll be upfront with people. So this is a 32 by 35, or no, 35 by 38 square like building with 16-foot tall ceilings. And I looked at that and I was like, okay, it cost me 15,900 to build this. And then I fitted everything in here. So like the electrical, the walls. I made a video actually. I just never put it out. I legit filmed a whole video in here insulating this space. I might put it out one day if anybody's interested. But I look at it like that's my goal in 2026 is to continue to invest into the channel in this way. Like now I think this year's investments coming in 26 will be traveling to more places to go ride and experience products. So what I might do, I don't know, remember who I was talking to about this, but I talked about doing an Airbnb and getting an Airbnb, let's just say out in Arizona, and then having three bike companies send their bikes out there, and we spend 2 weeks out there just reviewing bikes in a different location, and then I'll leave the bikes there. Like I'll find somebody, give them away, and then I'll fly home.
Hmm.
So that's kind of the next phase and more of the news, man. I thought about I I know a lot of people make separate channels for separate topics in their space, and I've thought long about that. Like I thought like when I first made this an e-bike channel, or like just what I enjoy, e-mobility, a lot of people were saying you need to make a separate channel, keep your BMX channel. I'm like, yeah, no. I mean, I understand that, but like the algorithm is so unpredictable. I don't know if you've ever experienced the unpredictability with the algorithm. Like there could be a random video of you falling off the ladder. I don't know if you posted that on your
I
on your
did.
YouTube. You could
Oh no, no, I
you
didn't. I didn't do it on the YouTube one.
I bet you, look right now. I bet you post that on a YouTube short that gets 10 million views. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. But the crazy part is the algorithm will feed that. So it's like you post that ladder video, you'll get 10 million views, but you post a video where you worked your ass off filming a review. And then it might get 3,000 views. So one of my whole point is the algorithm is so unpredictable that my whole point of not starting a second channel was because of that. So like if I want to do more news based stuff, somebody's like, you should start a channel just based on like e-bike news. That's it when it comes to laws, regulations,
Yeah,
a
yeah,
power
I
output.
know.
I'm like, nah, like this is me. This is where somebody should come to find everything about it. And I think if you start a second channel, which I've thought about doing, just because I'm into other stuff than e-bikes, and I'm sure you are too, especially people watching this live stream. You might have, I'm sure other people are interested in more than just one thing. Like I love riding bikes, but I also love other sports. And I've thought about starting another channel based around those sports and my obsessions around those sports. So that might be my 2026 goal is maybe start a second channel and try to expand in that space.
Well, one of the reasons that I kept like my channel name is just my name, like yours is, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just our names, right? Well, um, every year I do a backpacking trip with my ranger buddies, and it's like a 26-mile whatever, right? And I post those. And then whenever we travel, my wife is Swiss, so we travel a lot, right? Will mix in some e-bike stuff in there. So, I went mountain biking in the Swiss Alps, so we'll throw in different experiences. If we do wave running and stuff like that, I'll still throw
Mhm.
it on my channel because with it being like just our names, I feel like I can do anything on my channel. Now, do those get the
You should.
views? They don't. They do, nobody cares that I went, backpacking with my army buddies, but I don't care. But I like to,
No, I beg to differ, Scott. People are invested
well,
in you. People are invested in you too, man.
okay, well, I mean, that's what these are for. So they can learn more about me. They can learn about more who I talk to. I get to learn more about them by the people that are talking here in the chat. Misadventure Lab is like, he's right. I do need your barn. Um,
Ah,
he's right. Yours, like
Mhm.
um, Mike from I always want to say Run Bike Mike, but he has the other one, the Rev
oh, the
Rides.
electric one. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That he has that. Ben has the his bike cave. You all have a bike cave. And I just have a room that I store all my stuff. Um, but Watt Hustle says I'll let you stay at his Airbnbs if we can collab. Funny thing is,
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm down.
this cabin right here, we rent it out as an Airbnb. So we bought this in 2020, which right before COVID hit, and then I spent 9 months remodeling it. Ran a whole video series called Cabin Chronicles, but I did it on Facebook, and people watched me get my ass kicked during this. I mean, I think I invented the very first paint romper. Um,
That's hilarious.
there was like one video where what I put in the shower, the shower's
Yeah.
running, and then the just camera comes in and it shows me. I'm like, hi, this used to be a closet. Now I'm taking a shower, and I'm literally taking a shower in this thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want my channel to be like whatever I want to throw on it. I want to throw on. So I don't think you necessarily would need to have like a separate channel
I don't think
if
so either.
you. Yeah, I mean, because we're not, because of the way we've named our channels, we're not just limited to e-bike stuff.
I will say the secondary channel I'm thinking about making, I would have to make a second channel. Like, it has nothing to do with bikes. I know, like,
Uh,
I know you're saying like hiking doesn't have anything to do with it, but like, I can tell you that if I'm like the content I would be doing based around it would probably resonate with a lot of people on here, but I would be putting out videos every week on that. And I think I don't know. Like, basically, the way I would probably see if people would be interested is if I bring an e-bike with me to that space and do it. And to
yeah,
give it to give it out there, like, give full context on, like, where I am in life, right? Like, I went through this phase of, I'm sure everybody goes through it, man, where you feel like your life is like Groundhog Day. Like, every day is the same. And I have 2 young kids, so, like, every day felt the same, repetitive, waking up, go downstairs, get ready, and I need to disrupt that behavior. And I woke up one day at 4 AM and haven't stopped since. Been going to basically, like, woke up 4 AM, went to the gym every single day now since February 15th, not to get fit, but to be clearer here, if that makes any sense, like, mentally clear, because
yeah.
it's your life can be a drag sometimes, man, and you need to disrupt that behavior. And I wanted to do, like, YouTube a YouTube channel kind of based around what that is, because that's new and fresh and exciting for me. And like, I know it sounds stupid. I hate even bragging about it, but like, I love playing pickleball now. It's like an old man sport, but
Hang on
yeah,
a
man,
second.
it's
It's gonna take me a second here to block your channel real quick. Hang on.
you're good.
I gotta block you because you're
Oh,
playing pickleball.
oh my
I'm like,
god, oh my god. Yo, I mean, like, what I'm trying to say is like the competitive atmosphere is different. It's not like with old people. It's I don't know, higher level
no,
players
I
have
get
become
it.
obsessed with it. And
I
so,
get
like,
it.
I thought about doing something in that space because I really enjoy it. And that's kind of what I'm saying is like, you should film and make videos about what you really enjoy. So if people are
Mhm.
watching this and they really enjoy robo vacuums or really enjoy cleaning your house, make videos on it. If you really enjoy e-bikes, make videos on it and shit will happen 100%. I do want to address this one comment here. They filter through emails. I can't find it.
The what I really
Um,
can't tell you by Gaminator.
I
I
think so.
really
Yeah.
can't. I really can't tell
Basic.
you what the real e-bike companies offer or scams.
Yeah.
I keep
I
getting
want to
emails
give
and offers. Yeah.
I want to give my take on that. And I want to hear yours as well. And so my take on that is never, ever click a link from a bike company that they send you without clicking who it's from first and seeing the email address it came from,
Hmm.
and then Googling the name of the company and searching the website out yourself. And then if you're really feeling like they're sketchy, go on their info section, send them an email and say, "Hey, are you working with an organization that is sending out invites for creators?" That's it. Protect yourself, because I've seen people that have lost their channel for periods of time because they click on a link that's a PDF file and it takes their stuff.
Yeah. Often. Well, I owned a website design company for more than 20 years, so when I get from a new company that I'm like, all right, I haven't heard from these guys because you'll get that. Then the first thing I do is like click up in there and see the actual email address because you can make it say whoever, but the email address is the email address. And then oftentimes if they're wanting me to click on a link to look at a bike, what I'll do is I'll look at the name of the bike and then I'll go to the internet myself
Yep.
and then look at it to see if everything's matching up, you know. And then but half the time sometimes I don't even do that because these guys will send you a cookie cutter cut and paste
Yeah.
email. So I have also developed my own cookie
I
cut
want
and
to. I want to hear.
paste.
I want to hear
No, well, I mean it's just simple.
Your
Like they
your
send it.
email to me has moved me. Love Scott Arts.
No, okay,
That's
so I don't
basically
do
what
it the
that's basically what their emails are to us. Your videos have moved
you're
me.
we are longtime fans of your
Yeah.
content. Your e-bike material is so, and I'm like, okay. But I like it
Oh,
when they forget to do a blind control and
yeah.
then
And
they
you
do
see
the
all the
copy paste and
people.
you see they send it to like 30 other people the same thing.
Yep.
I've sometimes I'll reply, thank you for your cookie cutter copy and paste email. Please accept my cookie cutter copy and paste email as well. And then mine just talks about like what I do, how much I charge,
Yeah, yeah,
what they're gonna get in the review. But like I won't even half the time I'm like, they're all they want to do is give out a free bike and expect you to do the thing on it. And I'm like, well, we're not going to do that. So let me just shoot you this, and then they'll come back and they'll be like, well, we can't afford you. We would just like to know if you could just accept the bike. And I'm like, let me know when you can afford me, and like reach out when you can afford me. Like I'm like, there's
yeah,
no need for me to. I mean, I have enough companies that value my opinion and know that I'm going to give it straightforward no matter what. That will pay the money that
yeah,
I'm
Y-
requesting for because my, equipment costs money. Our
yeah.
time. Do you do all your editing and stuff yourself? Are you
I
a
do,
one man?
yeah, and I
Yeah.
do, and I've tried to let it go to other people, but the thing is, like, I don't know if you've ever been in a filming situation, but right before I say this, I do wanna say you have a great audience here, I'm looking in here. Somebody saying that they just started in August. Somebody else saying they have 206 subs, 366 subs. Keep grinding, guys. Seriously,
Yeah.
keep grinding. I will say, so I edit all my own videos. I love the editing process. I try to give it up to somebody before, but when it comes down to, like, that process, I asked another creator how they do it, and they say, like, they talk to the camera, to the editor on, like, what they want certain shots to be. But there might be so many times where I'm like, yeah, I might forget that I filmed this drone shot, and in my head, I'm like, I won't know that I wanna blend that drone shot with a specific 360 shot until I'm on the cutting room, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like, so they might not know that, and that's just my personality, I don't know. I think I'd be able to give up the thumbnail part. I know that there's a couple creators that like doing that. Um, I don't know. Have you had a good experience, bad experience? Do you do that?
I I've self-taught, right? So I do my own editing. I do have a guy every once in a while that does what I call a dirty edit, where because the specs is the specs, I do everything the same way. There's going to be the sand test. There's going to be this. I'm like, follow the GoPro, right? Like he knows when I take it out for the day, this is going to be your timeline on everything. So he would go through and do what I call a dirty edit, and that's where he just takes out all the ums and ahs
Oh, that's
and
cool.
like on specs, I might say the same thing like three different ways, and normally it's the last one that's the one I'm going to keep. So he puts it together, and then I have to finish and edit it. But he's not. He travels a lot, so he's not very consistent. I think I've used him maybe 10 times out of the 400 videos that I have. Right. So
Yeah.
it's mostly just me doing it now. I have started to bring on this guy to help me do like my latest thumbnail looks different than my other ones because he did it. Um, and there's no way I could develop the thumbnail that I use for the or for bike talk, right? That we've come up with this. So he's helped me come up with a template for that. I find that to be helpful, as I don't think. Look, would I love to not have to edit my own videos? Absolutely,
Mhm.
right? But I do still enjoy it. And like you said, there's things that I know that I wouldn't know if I'm going to remember to explain to an editor. You know, I guess if you got it back and you'd be like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
missed this part," you could put it in. But right now, it's just one of those things like I don't feel I could give up the control of. That
I
makes sense.
understand. So, like, here, let's help out these new people that are just starting. I have a question. So, when you film, are you f- are you do you start with a written objective, like, okay, I want to get these shots, or are you like myself? I go out and I'm like, I know what I want to film, and as I'm filming it, I'm editing it in my head. Do you do that?
Um, at this point, I think about well, yeah, because like when I do the hill climb, I'm like, okay, I need a drone to, it used to not be that way. You couldn't see how big the hill is or how it actually
Yeah.
looked, or like when I'm in the sand, right? So yeah, then I'm editing in my head. I'm like, I'll look and be like, the sun's on this side, so I need the drone to be on this side so that I have you know, I know enough about the like video composition and stuff to be like, all right, I can
Yeah.
get a better shot by seeing which way the sun is going. So if you consider that editing while
Well, like
while
editing in your
filming,
head, like okay, like I know that I said this here. I want to get it from this angle, from this perspective. So, like, that's kind of when I'm going into it. I'm like, okay, I'm going to go out and I'm going to film this speed test and hill test. And when I do that, I know I want these specific shots because I know that I want these specific B-roll shots because I know
oh,
where what my voice is going to say here because I want it to go along with this. Do you do something like that at all or no?
no, I mean, for the specific things, sand test, yes, hill climb, yes, brake test, yes. But everything else, whenever never know, dude, I never know what's gonna happen when I go out because I mean, when I leave, when we hit the road, we're out until the freaking thing dies,
Oh, okay.
so but I do have those I am editing my head like this has a certain thing, this has a certain thing, and it's filmed a certain way, and it has these as the B-roll shots. Um, but
I guess more so my question is like when you're out filming, do you make a mental note like, oh yeah, that's going to be a sick clip. I'm gonna
Yeah,
like,
when something
yeah,
happens, like something crazy, and I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, yeah." We got a couple comments here about this. Frantic TV, they love editing, to the floor. They just popped in to say, "Happy Thanksgiving." Thank you for stopping by. Gaminator, he works at Geek Squad, so he definitely checks for, emails and never clicks the links. Yeah, he's smart enough. And then Matt
Mhm.
from Electric All Wheel, he says that Scott has his template groups memorized as well as his ride settings and environment settings. And then I use hard copy specs for the prompt. So see, he knows he's actually seen me do it. So
Yeah, that's smart though because you're cutting time. Like you have a whole routine.
I do, and that's why when that's what I'm saying. Like when I travel to different locations, it kind of throws my routine off because I'm like, how do I replicate
Yeah.
this in my review when I don't have the same terrain that I do it on?
So do you go with the mindset of like I want the video to be this long or open up like this or end like this?
Well, all my videos end with final thoughts. They all start off with the specs. So, and as long as they have, oh, and let's not forget cockpit operations, right? Those are in every one of my videos. But besides that, like I never know how long a video's gonna last because I don't know just how things are gonna be. I mean,
Mhm.
do you go for like this video like I know with Mike from Electric Revolution, his are like under 10 minutes,
Yeah, it
right?
depends. So if I know me as a viewer, so I think of myself viewing the video versus, I mean, I also think of other people, but I'm like me as a consumer of content. Like how long,
Mhm.
what's my attention span? And the age group that watches my videos, are their attention spans probably the same? Let's get to the point for these specific things. But then, like, it kinda makes you think, like, do I put out a long form short, if you follow what I'm saying? Like, you can do,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
3-minute long short. Do I do a long form short based on that condensed version and then do a longer form 20-minute video, which makes sense. Um, I try to aim for whatever works. I mean, like, very rarely do I get to that 20-minute areas. I mean, a lot of times I float around that 10 to 15-minute area, and it depends. I If the bike has a lot to offer, a lot to go over, yeah. Or if I'm like, for instance, this Rex bike, it's like a
Yeah,
electric
the
dirt
mo
bike that I'm gonna be taking out
mhm.
here soon. Um, that's probably gonna be a 20-25 minute video because there's a lot to go over on it. Plus, I wanna ride this thing on different trails. I wanna see how it performs on sand, dirt, jumps, clay, roots, real woods.
Mhm.
So that might be a longer video. instead of just revisiting it, like, hey, let's instead of stringing the audience along, hey, the next video I'm going to be out in the woods, just put it all in one. Um, but I know shorter content works for a lot of creators because they can see their analytics, like how what's their retention time, you know? I've noticed
Right.
that like the retention time on those news videos, people watch those all the way through. Like
I think,
almost 96% of the video when I do news videos is all the way through. Versus like if you do a review, people will pop out once they like halfway through, they'll pop out and once they find the information they want and watch another one maybe.
yeah, my man, so see, I wish I could do that. I feel like my reviews have turned into this monster now that, um, that we're in it for the long haul, dude. I've done like 47-minute reviews
Oh
just
wow.
because no, they're long, dude. It's like I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm doing like a Netflix freaking series here." I'm like, "Okay, well, this is" now I don't ever want it to get to like, Zack Snyder length reviews because then
That'd be funny.
that's a lot of slow motion
four
and,
4 hour review. You know what
yeah,
you should entertain doing, and it probably wouldn't be hard for you to do. You should really look into what Eddie does. He does those live unboxings, and those are usually 1 hour live streams. He
uh,
unboxes it, showcases it. They seem to do pretty well for him.
Matt
Um,
from, Electric All Wheel, he'll do live unboxings as well, but I don't like to build the bikes. I have all mine
oh,
sent
that's
to a
right.
bike
That's
shop.
right. That's
Right,
right.
they
Yeah.
put it together for me, they do it. Now, like Eventon, they won't send it. Eventon's sending me a bike right now that they're not gonna send to a bike shop because, if they're not their authorized dealer, they're not gonna send it to them. So I'll
Yeah.
have to put them together. Misadventure Lab says, that my reviews are very thorough. Yeah, I would probably
Absolutely.
say that. Yeah, they're but you know what? They didn't start off that way. They just kinda turned into that,
Hmm.
like, back then, I would do something and somebody's like, "Well, how's it handle on the snow or on the sand?" And I'm like, "Well, crap, I don't know."
You're like,
Right?
let's take it.
So then I would add a sand test to the next review, and then somebody's like, "Well, how good does it break?" And I'm like, "Well, crap, I don't know." So then so then it's become this monster right now. So, I mean, I guess it's I'm kinda glad because nobody really wants to replicate the way that I do mine, um, which is which is good. I mean, people do I think cockpit operations is important
Yeah.
because people need to know how to operate these bikes. Um, but, yeah, I feel like they're just monsters, and there's no way I could do like a 20-minute unless the bike is extremely basic. I don't think I could do like
Yeah.
a 20-minute review. I would love to be able to because that's less editing that I would have to do because I mean, it takes me 3 times the amount of time to review to edit a video that I've filmed, you
Yeah.
know?
I will say,
Um,
well, you have a great supporter here, Watt Hustle, $20 super chat, 19.99, $20 super chat. I think it's amazing that you
yeah.
have people here contributing to seeing you be more successful. So it says, "Thank you guys for the tips. You're absolutely welcome, dude. I think keep doing what you're doing, channel wise. I think you'll be right there with us."
Oh, I do wanna tell you the Watt Hustle, well, number 1, thank you, but number 2, I've seen your videos, and, I don't know who's doing your graphics or stuff like that, but, like, the first video I saw, I'm like, "This guy's graphics are, like, on point." Like, I thought it was, like, at least the intro or something like that, well edited and graphic-wise, like, I don't know who's doing it, but if it's you or if it's somebody else, but that's you're on the right track right there. It looks very professional.
I think it's awesome, man. It's good to have a good support group. I haven't done a live stream in a while. I thought about getting back into them. I have like OBS Studio where I was doing them for like the news for a while. But
Mhm.
it's a lot of stress, and I don't want people to feel obligated to feel like they needed to. I like to just put out a video and put it out there. I don't know. Plus, with two young kids, it's very hard for me to find the time to do stuff like this. Like on the weekends, where most people are filming and editing their videos, I'm strict. I only film and do stuff on the week, and it's got to be between when the kids are at school. That's it. I don't let this dive into any family time at all.
Oh, okay. Great. Man, we've gone so like there's some general questions that I have not asked about you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which number one, do you do this full time?
Yes, I do. Well, I do YouTube kind of full time. You this perspective or this aspect of like bikes I do full time. So like I said, I consult with 6 different brands right now, and I also do a lot of like, if some people might be familiar with like CAD or
Mhm.
different graphics, like we
Yeah.
were saying. I don't incorporate any of that stuff into my YouTube videos, but I work with other brands with helping to design their advertisements, which I can't disclose. I apologize for that. So I am under NDA with like 3 different brands for those.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Um, so I help design different advertisements. It's kind of the background I came off of with BMX. So I do that more so full time, and then like the YouTube channel is kind of sprinkled in there. So this studio space is more geared towards the first, which is working with those brands that I had mentioned, and then the YouTube thing just kind of works out. There's bikes here that I've never been asked to do videos on. So like I have a what you don't see on the other side of the building over there. That wall's green. So I made a green screen to be able to generate
Yep.
graphics to be able to make it look like you can do like where you ever go on these bike pages and you can rub your cursor on it, make the bike do a 360-degree
Yeah. Uh-huh.
zoom. So I'll do that with the green screen over here. It's a lot of stuff I don't put out there, but I'll put it out here for your audience and you. And maybe when we're off camera, I can show you the space that I do this stuff in. But I really enjoy that. And I have bikes here that I've never done reviews on because I've never been asked to. I don't think that they would want me to. I don't know. I think that they kind of want to keep it under the radar that I'm working with them on developing the advertisements, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh. Yeah, no,
Because
because
my name's not on the advertisement, just so you know. So like the websites that are out there, a lot of you guys have been on before. I've had a hand in working with them with developing whether it be an advertisement for a Black Friday deal or just their website in general, but my name's not on it. It's on like obviously not. So I can't disclose those things for that
no,
reason.
that which is totally fine, dude. I mean, as a website designer, I wasn't like, "Oh, I
That's
built
right.
this
That's
site or
right.
the."
Yeah, you did that.
Yeah, so, I mean, I totally get that, but, I do know I always find it interesting how these people can have, like, full-time jobs and then still do YouTube. I mean, Matt from
Yeah.
Electric Allwell does it. Ben, well, he's a firefighter, so that works out 24 hours on and then, like, 17 days off or some kinda crazy thing like that. And then, um, Mike with, Run Bike Mike and, Ride Rev Reviews or
I
Ride
will say
Reviews Rev.
if you don't get on your own, if you don't like stress yourself out, like there are companies that will be like, hey, like this, I think there are deadlines that I do meet, like, but there
Yeah,
are companies that are like, yo, like for instance, I also work with, there's a security camera company I work with here on my channel, and I'm producing a video for them now, but like that takes time, producing the clips, like showcasing how it works. So I, I don't know, like that's the only type of deadline. I don't hold myself to a standard of like I need to put a video out every single week or every single day. And if you do that, it's like you kind of get trapped in the mindset of like,
yeah.
okay, this video on Monday didn't generate what it should have, and this video on Wednesday did. So then you're kind of like chasing the algorithm, if you follow what I'm saying.
Yeah, which brings me up to something that I thought about for, like, these younger guys in their career doing these reviews, whether it be e-bikes or anything else. It's like you will get these companies that will try to take advantage of you, right? So let's say you do accept a bike or and a lot of times, I mean, look, when I started, I wasn't doing contracts. I'm sure you weren't either when you first started. You were just like, okay, great, send me a bike. They were like, yeah, we'll send you a bike and you do a review and you're like, that's great. And then they'd come back and be like, all right, well, now we want a short and we want 27 professional photos of it, or they'll change it, or they'll try to change it in the contract, right? Like you'll come up with an agreement and then you'll read the contract and be like, we didn't talk about this. And if you guys are these creators, do not let them take advantage of you,
Never.
right? I'm like, no, right? I'm like, well, okay, if you want that, it's going to cost you this. And if you want that, it's going to cost you this, right? So even if you're accepting a bike for free and you don't have a contract on it and they ask for other stuff, you don't have to give it to them. Okay. There's many times where they're like, we wanted this and this. I'm like, no. And they're like, great, just review the bike. You
Yeah.
know? And they're like, we'll accept you just reviewing the bike. Or they'll be like, can you send us the original video? Unless they're paying for that original video, no, right? Don't let them use your
Don't
review
sign off on the
in a
rights and usage.
yeah, don't let them use your review in commercials unless you're getting paid for it, right? You'll see snippets of some of my stuff in commercials. Look, I was like, look, that's, you don't have to go out and film this. That's value. There's money in that. And
Yeah,
you're either going to pay me for it or you're just not going to use it.
100%.
So just for these younger guys, I mean, because these are things that we learn as we become these, bigger, bigger reviewers, is that they will try to get. I had one company say that they wanted like 3 videos on a cargo bike, and I'm like, why? I'm going to cover
Yeah.
everything you need to know in one. Like, I'm not giving you three. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. And they're like, oh, okay, well, yeah, you don't have to, right? What it comes down to is they came to you, you didn't
Yep.
come to them.
Yeah,
Right
they
now,
need
look, if
you.
you did come to them, if you're not really calling the shots, if you come to them, you'll be like, I'd like to
Yep.
review your bike. Um, yeah. So, but they came to you. They're going to try to see what they can get out of you, and just hold your guns. If you only feel comfortable, look, I'm not great at YouTube Shorts. I find a hard time doing it. I seldom do them. And I do not make that part of my agreement because it's not something that I like to do. You know,
Yeah, to
and
be
so
fully
I
transparent, I feel like the YouTube Shorts, like, they do you find that they work?
do I find that they work.
Yeah, like for your audience, or do you think you don't sprinkle them in enough?
I don't think that I can cover what I want to cover in a short. Right now,
Well, I mean, I think you, instead of thinking like that, you could just cover like one, like a high point to a bike. Like if I'm looking at the aero router, you could just be like maximum power, boom, and it's just like nothing but like you just zipping around on the aero router.
mhm.
It's just to get them
Yeah,
on that video, and then it gets you right into the long form because there's so many people that view content vertically,
I
and get
know.
them to
I'm one
get
of
them in
them.
there, and boom, yeah, me too.
I don't think, because I'll put it this way, since I don't feel like I'm good at it, I don't really do it. Now I know that there's AI software out there that can do it, and I'm subscribed to them, and I've used it sometimes. And then, but only if you'll see me do like a specific video for a company. Number one, if they're like if that's part of the deal. Um, and that if I feel like it's a different, and like for me, to be comfortable with a short, I would have to film the entire thing separately. I mean, I have used the AI stuff to like take a snippet, like the hill climb, like when the Velotrek trike, dude, climbed the hill of doom, which is a 31 degree hill,
Damn, that's
and
crazy.
the trike climbed it, right? And I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? Um, I made that one a short just because, to me it was like so outlandish that I could do it. And I understand, like, I'm looking here in Frantic TV's like, yeah, the shorts are only a teaser for the full vid.
Yeah,
True, but I personally do not like creating them. So if it's like anything, if there's something that you don't really like doing, you're not going to do it that much.
I'd agree.
You know.
I agree. I used to love doing shorts in the very beginning when they introduced them. They There was a time where they introduced them only to like a small amount of creators, and then they sprinkled them in. They were paying like big money for shorts at one point in time. Um, but to be fully transparent, when it comes down to contracts, the very first time I got a contract, I think was Velotrick, and that's when I developed my own. That's actually when I started this like business, to be fair, because I thought it was fake. Velotrick didn't reach out to me first. They were using
It was, yeah, they were
a
using, yeah, same ones
DA.
reached out to me.
I think it's like DA Versa or something like that.
Yeah, DA
They
verse.
they reached out to me, and I thought it was fake. And I was like, it's like, what? Like, they actually dictated the price. Like, this is before I even brought up a price. They
Yeah.
they brought up like some price where I was like, this can't be real. Like, there's no way. They really gonna pay this kind of money? And I went back and I looked them up, and then I did some research, and I was like, well, they're real, they're authentic. So I went and I found a dummy contract online, worded it my own way as a protection for myself, used my LLC in there, and made sure I got what I wanted. Because at the end of the day, it's like, if you're making videos for people, you said it yourself, you got to protect yourself. So it's like, if they're using your footage to be able to sell bikes, you gotta sign off on those rights of
Mhm.
usage for those footage. Now I sprinkle in rights, usage, full MP4 file. I'm giving them a lot, but that's the reason why my rate is what I set it at too, because I'm like, okay, I'm providing more than just a YouTube video. At the end of the day, I'm giving you all the MP4 raw files to use at your discretion, and that's it. And then our contract is done, and we'll start a new one. That's have you do you s- is you run this like a business? Like, do you have an LLC? I know we're probably jumping off topic, and your
No,
viewers
I
probably don't like
know. I
this,
mean,
but
but other people need to know that because we got some guys that are trying to figure this out themselves. I do now. I have an LLC. Um, I mean, I was basically running it under. I've owned my own companies for like ever. It feels like so. Once I knew, once I was like, okay, this thing actually brings in money. I'm going to create an LLC for it, and that's what I do. Dude, how long have we been on here? I see that
no,
your
no,
wife.
no, no, no. I'm only hitting thumbs up to my wife in a text. Go on. I'm sorry. I'm
Oh,
listening to
okay.
you.
No, it
You
wasn't
started
that,
a
but I haven't even looked at the time. We've been on 155 minutes.
word. I'm
I
trying to
think
break your record. What is it?
I think it was 2 hours and 30 with Ben. I don't even.
God damn it, Ben. God damn it. My wife is gonna have divorce papers set up because of you, Ben. I have to beat you.
um, yeah. So no. So my everything runs under an LLC. Now, I mean, because people, when you first start, you don't know if this thing's going to work. You don't know if you're really going to like doing this for a long term or stuff like that. So it took a while for me to decide, and I was running it under a different LLC anyways. I just did a DBA, right? So I'm like, all right, let's just move everything, created my own like true business accounts for it and all that,
Good. Good.
got the the company credit card so that you put the expenses out on that. So whenever I travel, I'm putting that
Yep.
on there. Or any bike part that I buy. I think that's the dude. I think that's like the best thing. Like, I, and you do it too, right? Like we mod these
Yes.
bikes and we build them and we get to write it all off, right?
Yep.
It's like
This whole
this is
building's a write-off. That's why
yeah,
that's what I was
absolutely.
trying to get into on it.
Yeah, and as it should be, like the story space that I use was a write off. Dude, our trip to Switzerland was a write off because I made two videos, one mountain biking in the Swiss Alps, and the other one was a
Hope
6 hour e-bike tour through like Lottenberg. And the videos are on my channel, right? So I'm like, look, it's a business write off.
the
These are on
IRS
my
is right
channel.
now like this.
Yeah, they
All
can because they're going to
right.
be like, well,
I'm
he's
kidding.
right. He's right.
I
Also,
love it. I love it.
which
You're smart.
I hadn't put a video together yet, but as we went through different areas of Switzerland, I'm like, these are the bikes that they have here in, in Bern or I can't remember just the different places. So I'm like, what's
Yeah.
the e-bike structure here? Okay, so these bikes are this. There's not a whole lot in this section. These are all mountain bikes. Yeah, Misadventure Lab. Everything's a write-off in our world. You are correct if you do it properly. Um, and the Misadventure Lab, their Misadventure Lab is huge. They have like a whole crew of people, looks like, that do different stuff. And then it just seemed like uh, they have one guy that does the e-bike stuff, I believe. But then they have like these other guys that do other stuff. I'm sorry if I'm wrong on that.
No.
I have clearly dived into their channel on that, but um, they say we always rewrite the contracts that they send us and remove all the previews of video. Yeah, because yeah, yeah, yeah. So they have 4 to 6 guys total. Good for you.
Yeah,
Um,
you have to control it. It is at the end of the day a business. You have to control it. And you have to I started my very first LLC when I was a professional BMX rider because somebody threatened to sue me one time. I collided with somebody at a skate park. I didn't mean to. Like it happens. Somebody you're coming off a ramp,
mhm,
somebody else is there. And the kid got hurt real bad, and I was like, I jumped off my bike, I literally picked the kid up off the ground, took him over to the bench, and mom's like, I'm gonna effing sue you, blah, blah, blah. Immediately, my friend was like, you need to start an LLC, talk your way out of this, but protect yourself. They can't
mhm,
get you. They'll get your corporation. Every so often, put so many dollars in there to make it look like a legitimate company. And it is so since then, I look at it like that. LLC is a protection measure, not just for your own accounts, because if you if you're using your own personal bank account to run a business, it's not good. You want to have some type of disconnect there because you want your money to be your money, the company's money be company's money, and if anything happens to the company, it happens to the company, not to your money.
right, they get that money. They don't get,
Yeah,
they don't get our multiple homes and, you know,
exactly.
and I like my
I love
Raptor. So,
talking about that
yeah.
stuff too, man. I love diving deep on it.
Um, yeah, okay, so with Misadventure Lab, they do a ton of different things. That's what I thought. And a good friend of mine invited us all on there to have fun with the channel. And, yeah, and it's worked out for you guys. I mean, they do all kinds. So that is also like their name is well put because they do all kinds of stuff. Like they're not limited to like e-bikes. They do all kinds of stuff on that channel.
I wonder if it lets
Um,
me while I'm on here. I'm gonna click their channel now.
let's see if you can
Will it let me
see.
do it? Well, I
Yeah,
just want to subscribe to it before I forget. Or Miss Adventure Lab, if you can comment or just like, I don't know, I want to subscribe to them, but it won't let me do it while I'm in the chat. Comment
uh-huh.
on this video, comment on this live stream on a regular comment, and I'll hit subscribe. I want to check your stuff out.
Frantic
Said
said
good night.
he's good night, but then also wants to know when the next show is. It'll probably be next weekend. I got a couple of people. We're gonna see. I try to do it around what's convenient for my guest, right? And also at the time frames, I try not to do it opposite of any big football game or something like that because I know there's a lot of sports people that I don't watch sports, but I know that there are.
I hear that.
Um, so I try to, accommodate because we went through multiple times, and so we figured out what best worked out for you. With
And I
me
appreciate
being,
you working with me on that, man.
well, yeah, dude, it's just me, bro. It's me and my wife, right? I don't have the family and the kids that
As
are
soon
right
as you
now.
hit
I
me
mean,
up about this, I was like, I'm absolutely down. And then like I look at the calendar, the wife puts a get together calendar. I was like, oh snap, we have Longwood Gardens to go to. We got kids cheerleading to go to. I was like,
yeah.
let's
So,
change it to this side.
and we're actually gonna shut it off because we could. I mean, your time is valuable, and I
Understood.
appreciate it. I know we'll also continue to have these additional legal talks probably
Yeah,
about
I'm
more.
always down to jump on about that. And if anybody's
I know you
interested
are in the
in,
group as well. Yeah.
yeah, if anybody's interested in on different bikes, I got probably 5 different videos I'm working on right now. And if you want to subscribe, cool. If you don't,
Yeah, I
cool.
can't
But
I
either
can't
way, I think it's amazing you support Scott.
I can't dude, I can't do that. I can't work on multiple reviews at one time. I'm working on one thing at a time. Boom, 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 boom.
Okay.
That's that my mind will not let me because look, right now the weather's changed. It like so if I started a review on a bike, well you can't see it. I know because you can't see what's going on. But
So I can see you on the computer right now.
okay, so if I started a review on a bike and then it snows the next day, what am I doing? Right? It's like, okay, well, this looks, odd. But yeah, Mike, thank you for coming on board. Thank you guys for joining in on the chat. I'm always surprised when people join me on these things, and I'm just blessed that you guys do it. I appreciate it. I really enjoy doing these. I enjoy learning more about other reviewers that I watch. So, I think it's just always a great thing. So I appreciate you guys. Mike, is there anything that you want to cover before we hop off here?
No, I appreciate all the support jumping in this live stream. Like I said, I have tons of videos coming out throughout the year, the rest of the year and onward. I love doing what I do. And if you don't
Yeah.
want to subscribe or watch my channel, definitely stay subscribed to Scott. I think what he's doing is awesome.
Well, I was going to say that people should subscribe to your channel as well, but you're like, I don't care if you do it or not. Don't even.
No, I think no, I'm looking at this is your platform, man. I want you to prosper. I want you to stay, you know, successful
Yeah,
with what
man.
you're doing. And I hope to
I,
see that silver play button, wherever that thing is back there. I hope to see you get one too, man. I think it's like it's a good milestone, man. It's good to have something hard and tangible in your hand and be like, wow, hard work. And it's like
right,
almost like a little trophy, you know?
yeah,
Um,
right. Where I'm at though, that seems like I don't even like focus on that, right? Like I'm just right now I'm just enjoying doing what I'm doing.
good. That's what you should be doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So, if I'm retired, so this keeps me busy and active. And I love the fact that I can now do these lives and talk to my friends. So
Awesome.
I appreciate you, Mike. Thank you
Yeah, no
guys for
worries.
watching. We're going to end our live, and I hope everybody has a good holiday. And I think I have to shovel at this point. So I'm gonna
Don't
deal
fall.
with
Don't
that.
fall now. Don't fall.
Yeah, I won't be doing it on a ladder. How about that? I might post the ladder video. We'll see. I'll post it. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. Thank you.
All right. Yep. Sounds good.